Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A happy Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Hard Iced TA, Boulder Real Brewed Tea. Don't just give a hoot, give two. Live here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. A full house today here at EST. It's like everyone's excited about the start of the CFL season. It's a brand new day. Football is back. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here, joining us today from Whale and the Wolf, Lucas Holt, as well as from two guys and a goalie, and apparently savior of cats, Joaquin Gage. Gents, how are you guys doing today? We will get into your round of clicks for Gager.
Yes.
Your morning, because you came in and you're like, I was like, how's the day or morning? And you're like,
emotional morning.
It's been
Very
a lot.
emotional.
It's been a lot. So we will get to that. Reminder, we have a qualifying opportunity for the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by a Golf Town. That will take place July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. We'll qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival VIP table on July 13th at Kingsman Park as well, with Kevin Hart headlining that day. So lots to get to. Your thoughts always welcome. 780-218-9999. That is the Parish Jewelers inbox. And you can jump in the nasty chat. I also failed on welcoming Lucas Holt, who is also the general manager, owner, and the defending champion of the Dunya with the San Antonio Texans, who were going up against the Memphis Mad Dogs in week one.
Champion.
Four-time champion, but defending champion and the undisputed CFL champion in the world. So congratulations once again on holding that title. And that takes a lot for me to say something like that, but that's the facts, and you just can't deny the facts there. So the Sacramento Gold Miners got the Shreveport Pirates in week one of the Dunya. So we've got lots to get to.
The toilet bowl is what we call it in the Dunya.
It is. Well, it's week one of the Dunya always starts with the championship rematch.
Yep.
And the battle of the losers from the year prior.
And just like the real CFL, we are playing in Memphis.
You know what? I was listening to you guys on the Hangout earlier this week before I was going to the rake, and you guys were talking about the beginning of the Dunya, and I know the story, and I know, but I loved how you guys danced around it.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're bringing it up. So I have to tell people again, we're not talking about it on the air.
No, it's not fit for air. And we're just waiting for Dave Jameson to put it in the book. And the book's title, which I hope he sticks with, is also not fit for air.
My bleeps bleeped up.
Yeah.
It was, it's a story from him when Kahari Jones was with the Eskimos at the time, but he was just there for training camp. And some player got run over on special teams. And when the trainers went out there to see how he's doing, he said, my bleeps bleeped up. And Kahari and Dave just loved that. And Dave's like, that would be the title of my book, which is like the perfect title. When you know the JMO stories also in full, and you know what stories would be in said book, you go, no, that is the absolute perfect title.
It could also be sort of like the title kind of for the Dunya in a sense, too.
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
There's a lot, like, well, our waiver wire email address is perfect.
Yeah.
This is the
We don't need to get into
I'm not getting that. It's the most creative thing I've ever accomplished in my life. Yeah. Like, I'm very proud of that one, actually.
Besides our goals. Back
our goals were great.
Or 13 or whatever it was.
Do you know do you have that picture somewhere?
Oh, probably, yeah.
We had we shared an office, Lucas and I, together at the old place. And there was a whiteboard, so we decided to create goals. And the goals, ended up being two goals on there.
Reach goals and get drunk.
Yeah, those are the two goals.
Check and check.
I think we've done really well with accomplishing that.
We got to them.
Every year or so, somebody finds that picture and posts it out there just to remind us of what we need to accomplish.
Yeah,
which is
a good office.
Achieve goals, get drunk. Because then before you left, JMO started working a bit, and he shared that third desk.
It was the coffee room, so we got a lot of visitors. Yeah,
I was a barista at the old place.
You were, and a bartender.
Well, the bartender came after the barista. I don't know if you were there when we had the full Keurig machine with all the coffee.
I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So that was a contra deal we had with the company.
And we got the guy famous Amos cookies and the Mr. Noodles. And
awesome. So the guy came in and he would clean the machine because we had some sort of deal. And he would be like, what coffee do you guys need? And because it was in my room, I learned whatever coffee everyone liked and what everyone wanted. So I would order a bunch of coffee. Like somebody likes the French vanilla coffee. I'd have French vanilla.
But then you get people coming in too,
like,
well, we're out of the dark roast, Matty. Oh,
so I would have. So then behind, there's also like boxes in the room full of just extra stock. And when I would start getting lower and Ryan would come in, I still remember his name. I'd be like, "Okay, Ryan, I need blueberry coffee." There was a blueberry coffee. JD loved it.
Yeah.
And I would just order all this stuff. And like we had, it was a bookshelf of like 6 different levels. There wasn't a duplicate of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate.
Wow.
It was all different stuff, but I had it covered. I was nailing it down. I kept it clean. And then one day our accountant came upstairs and he's looking at this stuff. He's like, "Oh, you guys got a lot of stuff." I was like, "Yeah, like keeping it good." And he's like, "Yeah, it's a good thing people are using this. It costs us like $10,000 in contra." I was like, "Excuse me? How much?" He's like, "Yeah, 10,000." I was like, "Oh, okay, good to know."
Yeah, we
Kept
just thought it
doing
was free. Hey, like.
Well, yeah, and we weren't supposed to be getting those cookies and all that.
Oh, right. Okay.
The guy came in and he was accidentally dropping those off for us, and then that stopped, and then it was just the coffee for a while. But yeah, I racked up a bill of over $10K on coffee.
Damn accountants,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
See, so, but that's
Why
the
you guys
thing.
buzz killing us?
I took care of that. Well, they didn't stop.
No wonder
I was
the
allowed to keep going
station
with it.
created.
I was allowed to keep going with it until they got rid of the contra deal. It was awesome. And then the Ryan guy one time, my favorite thing is when it was me and just Dave in the office, our boss Vav came in one day to have a little.
He was also my boss.
But he wanted to have a meeting. Like we were discussing some business stuff.
Yes.
Business.
And Ryan came in to clean the stuff. And I'll never forget because it was me and JMO sitting like me and Gage are right now. Vav was looking at us and Ryan was behind him. And every time Vav would say something, Ryan kept chiming in. So Vav would have this business thing, and Ryan would be like, I think that would work really well. And he kept commenting. And or Vav, it just like his eyes would close, or he'd roll his eyes and stop and wait. And like
Patented Vav look, eh? Like.
absolutely. But he's just getting so annoyed because this Van Houten guy is just chiming in on the business at 1260 that after a while, Vav just looked at me and Dave and just, "Boys, my office now." And we just had to leave.
Oh, wow.
I forgot those coffee things. Good times.
That's hilarious.
Next Friday, 1 year.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
I remember we were going on a road trip actually, and we had just left that day, and we went over. I think it's by Pinoca. There's like a little bit of like a bridge or an overpass, and right when we hit the bridge, it went away. I was like, "We usually can get this a little further." And then that soft guitar music came on. And I was like, "What the hell?" My wife said, "What's going on?" And it's like, "Oh, they got canned."
Yeah, we were in the conference room.
Jenna Tills asking about the green and golds. Email me, matt@edmontonsportstalk.com.
What was the handle there?
Oh,
Jenna Tills.
Nice.
yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a dude.
It got
good.
that got dusty early days.
It did.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He
There's
would just
another one.
read it,
Yeah. Yeah. Genitals.
Yeah.
and he wasn't getting it.
No.
And then he finally went, "Oh, I got it." There was another one, wasn't
There
there?
was another one. Yeah.
There's been
forget which one.
Stupidasso
Yeah.
and a few other ones. That I think Guy Fleming likes to throw in Stupidasso.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of his.
The best
job,
one
Keith.
I saw, it's terrible, but someone wrote into a plane crash.
Oh no.
And it was it was an Asian Airlines or something like that. And it was just we'd like to shout out to the names of the captain or whatever, and it was some Ding Wong and
my
We
God.
Too Low.
No.
And the broadcaster said each name,
No.
it's it was pretty bad.
Ouch.
Naming the names of the people that perished in that plane.
Oh, Penner's Pancakes. There should be an Esty for best YouTube handle.
Hey, that's
That's
a good
not
one.
a bad
That'd be
one
good,
for
yeah.
off the one of the awards that's given off air.
Yeah.
Off the
Oh,
show
yeah,
type.
yeah.
The
And earlier
side
today-
one.
The ones where you do through the
Yeah.
commercials,
Yeah.
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 That's not a bad one at all. Okay.
How about Mr. Rescue over here?
I was about to say, now
Okay.
it's time to get into Gager. What'd you get up to this morning?
Hold on a sec.
Theme from Superman.
Okay.
Just
so,
for those that didn't know.
It was a rough morning for me this morning. It was crazy. So getting up, dog wakes me up, right? So around 6, grab him, start going for a walk, do our normal kind of loop, and I get to a spot and I look up in this tree and I go and I hear all these crows around. So I'm like, geez, that's a big crow. And then I get around the side and it's a cat. But it's hissing at my dog because my dog finally could see it.
Yeah.
It's hissing, big yellow eyes, and then I'm like, oh, is it stuck? And I kind of go close to it and it gives me the
Yeah.
thing. And I'm like, oh my God, it is stuck. but the crows, I think, were pecking at it because it couldn't move.
Right.
And so
How high are we like
high,
Yeah.
like really high,
Ladder high?
Yeah.
what kind of tree? Like a big evergreen?
It was a.
Well, no,
it was
This
a,
matters.
It was an aspen.
Just-
it's a mature aspen, so it's got another branch coming up.
Yeah.
I got a picture. I'll show you. So it's wedged in between like the main trunk and a branch coming up, like right in the middle. And so I'm thinking, okay, well maybe if I just pull it and release the branch, but I take my dog's leash off, and it's an extended leash, so I'm trying to toss it through this thing. I finally get it through and start pulling it. The branch is too strong.
Yeah.
I'm like, crap. And I'm like, and then I see the crows, and I'm not a cat person. Hate cats. I'm like, I can't leave this thing here. So I walk the rest of the way home, grab my old ladder that's in the garage, put it in the truck, go back, and there's another guy there. And he's standing there. I go, is this your cat? And I go, no, is it yours? And he's like, I asked first, and he's like, no, I just saw it up there. And I go, well, I got my ladder. So he's there, and I grabbed I had an old Oilers jersey.
Yeah.
But because this thing was claws out, and I didn't want it to scratch me to death. So I get up there, put my ladder up. It's a good 2 meters up there. It's way up there. And I grab the cat, wrap it in the Oilers
Was
blanket.
it flailing?
No, like
okay.
at first it was mad.
Yeah.
But then when
Then it wanted
I think
to
when
come
it
down there,
realized I was it just went completely limp. Right.
Okay.
But the back legs I was worried about because, as a former slinger of the RG11, if you're in the bucket truck and you have that harness, if you do fall off, you only have like, 3-4 hours before actually you'll start cutting off circulation to your legs.
Oh.
And guys have had to have their legs amputated because they're dead, right? So
Oh my God.
that's what I was thinking of because it was kind of the same type of thing. But I got it down, came down, and I put it on the ground, and it just went poof, just limp. Like the back legs were stiff.
Ouch.
And so I had the cat. We knocked on a couple of doors. No one answered. It's pretty early.
Yeah.
Put it in the back of my truck, go back home, and my wife's, what are you doing? Like, because I'm banging around. I'm saving a cat. She goes, what? You hate cat? What? And I go, come here. And then she looked, and it was like panting in the back. We tried to give it some water and stuff, and I wait. Nothing was open till later, and I finally phoned a place just over here in the West End, the emergency, and so I phoned them, and they say, you know what, bring it in right away. And it was a real George Costanza moment, right? It was like the
squirrel.
Yeah. Is anyone here a former cable guy with a ladder? And so I talked to the girl. I go, yeah, I was in there for a while, and she goes, bring it in right away. So I make a little bed in the back of my car, put him, and we're on our way out here, and he's just wailing in the back. And then we're getting close, and finally I pull up, and I go to the back, and I run, and I look, and he's gone.
No.
Yeah. He was looking at me. He was gone. And then what's really bad, the guy that helped me, he wrote to me. We exchanged numbers, and the girl, he posted it on Facebook or Twilliger Facebook. And the girl responded, goes, oh my gosh, that's my cat. He's been missing since August of last year.
What?
This thing's been battling the elements in the mean streets of Terwilliger. This was and what a way to go, get caught in a tree.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for her to give me a call. But
That sucks.
I was not expecting that ending.
That's rough.
I was thinking I was going to be a hero, but I mean, it was pretty mangy. I was like, God, that's weird for it to, but yeah. So here, look at this. This is
I saw your video this morning you posted.
Yeah, no, people were asking me, can it move its back legs? And I didn't want to respond on social media, but that was it way up in the tree. So you can see like the
it's just hanging.
And I was touching the back. I don't know, at least overnight it was up there, but it could have been longer, right? So,
It is wedged in there too.
yeah, so
Ouch, poor guy.
but at least it's
Yeah, that is a rough morning.
It's a rough morning, yeah, because my son came out and took care of it in the morning and stuff, was sitting with it while I was waiting to call someone, but
Jeez.
That sucks.
yeah.
Good on it for lasting
good on
that
you
long.
though. To
And you, yeah.
For someone
no,
who hates
I,
cats, like to go up
yeah,
there
I
and
couldn't,
do it.
but it was pretty sad. And as soon as I was hoping the legs started moving, but they didn't. And,
Damn.
yeah.
I don't hate cats. I prefer dogs. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying.
me too.
I'm not gonna do that.
Cats can be. We have a cat, and it can
Great
be.
cat. Coda's the best.
Start getting up there in age and stuff like that, and they do what they want, right?
Yeah.
So they give you affection when they want and scratch the furniture when they want, and there's a love-hate relationship with me with cats, but yeah, it's still a living creature. You don't want to see it suffer or anything.
No.
Like that. It doesn't matter. I don't even people who hate cats, you're not going to go up and punch one in the face.
No,
at
first I was like, am I going to really save this thing?
Yeah.
But then the crows, that's what was nasty. It was
Those little buggers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, they
Well,
were
they
all,
knew.
they were pecking at the back legs. So.
You got a new cat because he had Chompy, remember?
Yeah, he got
and
two.
Chompy
He got
was
two.
the cat that it was free ranging, just go around. He took care. He counted kills for the year, like how many mice does Chompy come in, and Chompy passed away unfortunately a few years ago. But he got two, and one is very much into that too. Like they're outdoor cats.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they are fascinating to watch. But yeah, cats, they can go live. Like, I'm not surprised that the cat was out since August. And stuff, because that's cats.
Yeah.
Cats can go out there and live.
Yes, they can. But if they've been domesticated inside for so
long enough.
like if ours got out, I don't
Coda
think it would last 15 minutes. But
As you said, age too, though, with Coda.
yeah, but for it to for a whole almost a year
Almost
to
a
figure
year.
it out,
Yeah.
especially I don't know about you, but we're in the West End too. Like the amount of coyotes,
I know.
to survive
there's
that.
some massive fields where I live, right? We're
Yeah.
behind the schools and stuff, and there's coyotes going up and down the
Yeah.
road at night,
Yeah.
right? I see them all the time, and you can hear them when they do find something, and they
Oh,
all
yeah.
start cheering and stuff.
Scott has a question in the nasty chat. You say you prefer dogs, but
Yeah.
cats are aloof. That's what makes them elite. Ask yourself, would you rather be a cat or a dog? Cat for the win. What would you rather be?
Oh, interesting.
I'd be a cat for sure.
Cat would be, way more independent.
Yeah.
No way.
You'd be a
But-
dog?
Oh yeah.
You get
I
pampered?
think if you're good in some part of your life, you come back as a dog with good dog owners, because then it's all.
I'd be a
cuddles.
dog. I'd be a W-A.
A dog.
He is a dog.
Yeah,
You'd be a
dog.
dog.
I'd be a dog.
I'd be a DOGG.
Yeah.
They just someone that takes care of you,
Yeah.
feeds you.
You don't have to do anything. You just wanna be pampered.
Yeah,
I think it's a much simpler life being a dog.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but cats, they're just way
I'd
more
rather be a
independent.
dog.
Do what you want.
And then
but that's how I live.
come and get what
like,
you want, and then
Yeah, leave.
Yeah.
see ya.
Yeah, like dogs probably when they see each other at the park, they're like, "Yeah, this is the person that picks up my poop,"
Yeah.
and that's what they're saying to the other dogs, right? Like
Dogs
what
are
they're
wondering
saying.
when you're going to be coming home. Cats are wondering when you're going to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
kind
So
of-
they can
They want to
mess
have the
stuff up.
party,
like,
and
get
the cat
outta
dogs just
here.
Yeah.
sitting there waiting.
I would always have the worst experience back in the day at Shaw with cats. Like they would attack me.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
It was awful, and I don't understand the litter box. I can't do it. And it all happened. I think my second year in, the litter box was always right next to where I had to work all the time. And one cat came down, scared the crap out of me. I thought it was a raccoon the size of this thing. And it comes down and looks at me the whole time.
Yeah, when it
Doesn't-
does its business, hey, it's weird, hey? That's a completely...
did not leave eye contact for a good
got a
3
power
minutes.
move.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
looking at it, and it went in there and kind of rustled in and just took, like, you would have thought, if the owner came down, he goes, why did you take a dump in my litter box? Like, it was massive.
Yeah.
And it just reeked. And I'm like, I'm wrapping everything around my face, and this cat was like, yeah, deal with that, cable guy.
But how true is it that it's always in the spot where you need to work,
It's
hey?
always
Yeah.
there. It's like, there's only 3 places where I said, no, can't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do something down here. Like I went downstairs one time, there was, I count them, 6 litter boxes, all full. Like, and I'm like,
Gross.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And one time it was really bad because the guy, the wife just had a stroke and she was older, and it just like I walked in, and you take off your shoes usually. Like that was
Or
one
they ask
place
you to,
where
yeah.
nope, they're
Yeah.
staying on. And then I went downstairs, and basically the basement was the litter box, and they wanted a new outlet down, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I go, I'm sorry, dude.
Finished basement or?
No, but
okay.
partly finished
yeah.
drop ceiling
Yeah.
crap. And but then I just came out and I said, dude, I can't do this. You're gonna have to clean up. And the look on his face was so appalled. Like, yeah, I know.
He knew.
I'm really sorry.
defeated.
About that. Yeah, just like it was.
Yeah, and like I won't say because I think there's a few of like my managers who watch and stuff like that. So I won't say get into too much detail, but there are they obviously know what their place is like and stuff like that. But I've before going on leave in 10 years, I think I might have like said no to like 3 places.
Yeah, that's
but like the leading up to me going on leave, it was kind of like I started getting some places where it's like, and I think like within that month I said no to 3 places, just because of like either infestation or like hoarding, that kind of stuff. And it's just like
it's a health thing.
I don't know, like with you, but like your first kind of time when you see that, you're like I remember I was like, oh man, I can't wait. Like this, this is what you see. Like I can't believe actually people. After a while though, like it gets quite old. You know what I mean? Like it's not funny anymore. It's like I don't want to be coming home having to change my clothes in the garage because you know who knows what you have on you, that kind of stuff, right?
Oh.
Where I've had those scares before with certain bugs and all that kind of stuff, but it's just not. It's not fun to be dealing with that, but it always seems to have like the. But
most people are slobs.
One thing, I will say though is that anytime like we keep our house fairly clean.
It's very clean.
But everyone is always like, it's so dirty. Don't worry, there's somebody else dirtier than you.
My wife likes we need 2 homes because she wants one to look like a show home, our house to look like a show home all the time, and it's just impossible, right? But she goes, oh, the house is so dirty, and I remember I go, honey, I'm like the Pope when I come home half the time. I'm down on all fours kissing the floor because it was just so gross, so disgusting. How and it doesn't matter. You'd think. You could go into maybe lower income places and they're nice and they're perfect, like pristine. Smells like a hospital in there. But then right next door, it's just. Or
you go into the
richest place in the world, and it's like, are you kidding me, you guys? Like,
wow,
it's mind blowing.
And the outside, the way that the outside is kept does not always necessarily mean how because like you say, you pull up to a beautiful house like. You go in and you're, damn it,
funny, man.
Wow. Big one.
There was some fun times. I remember my one buddy that I worked with. He was hilarious. And sometimes you'd come and if you had a big job, a guy would come and help you, right? And he was a little off at times. So I'm doing everything. It's my job. We're trying to go, and he's kind of being funny, but it's a little bit awkward. And I can see the customers kind of like, what the hell? And he had an ironing board in the middle of the room, and I'm kind of going through the new cable setup or whatever and stuff. And all of a sudden, my buddy grabs the iron and points it at the customer. Goes, "Who am I?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Stop.
And the guy's like this. He goes, "Iron Man." And I was just like, I'm sorry.
Your 5-star survey's going down the crowd.
Oh my God,
right?
I didn't even leave the pamphlet to say how was this. I just went, we got to get out of here. So, but it's pretty good.
That's messed up. First of all,
it's an awful joke. I saw where that was going with the Iron Man part. It's like, geez, well, I couldn't in the moment. I don't think you would, but I was like, okay, I feel like he's going to go Iron Man, but that is just terrible.
My God, that was funny though when I left.
But me being like, well, how do you fix this problem? Well, you can't fix them, make them clean up their place, I suppose. Wouldn't they give you guys like the little jumpsuits and like a mask? Do they provide that?
We do have that, but again, if you're walking into a house in a hazmat suit, that's not really.
I think it's indicative and an indictment on those people and the way they live.
But they already know. As that's
but then you're protecting yourself. So what?
That's why you say no.
Who's being insulted?
You do certain things like we wear steel toe boots and we need to wear steel toe boots at all times. So we just throw booties on and
I've seen the
booties and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And COVID, say what you will about it, but we wore masks into all the homes and stuff like that too. So it did kind of cut down on that. And there are certain times too where like you do need to wear that kind of stuff. Usually it's if you're going through crawl spaces. That's when I'll put it on. But
Jesus, you went through crawl spaces, not me. Screw that.
It's those knees.
No, I was good. I was limber back then, but it's not the one funny part would be the moms thinking you were the babysitter / TV installer. Like I remember one time, so I was doing stuff and the kid with the diaper that was hanging down to his ankles, just full. and coming, like, just wanted. I said hi to the kid, which is kind of a mistake. You never say
Big
hi
mistake,
to kids because then they're like, oh my God, someone will play with me. So I was doing stuff. The kid went and got the laptop, her mom's laptop, because she was just sitting upstairs smoking, I think. And the kid brings the laptop down because I was doing some work on her computer or whatever. He put it down beside me and was like doing this and stuff and spilt crap on it. And I'm like, not mine. And so, but then, so it basically ruined this laptop. And the mom comes down and just starts reaming me out. What are you doing letting the kid work on the laptop? And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
I'm here to
fix this.
How many
and do
darts
this.
were you having while it did this?
Yeah, they expected you to basically to look after their children.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I said, look, I'll get Treehouse on as soon as I possibly can, and we can finish this off.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Ice, Team Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Lucas Holt, and Tom Gazzola with you here. We'll get to the qualifying keyword in a bit. Do want to get to Hangout Headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. The Ranch Golf Club would be a great choice for your round for any round this season. Book your tee time right now. Visit theranchgolf.com. If you're hitting into the wind, club up, club up. If you're hitting downwind, club down.
wind?
Club down.
What wind?
The gentle breeze
Yeah,
that's
what is
going
this?
through.
What do you guys?
No,
what's
it's
a
windy.
gust? Where's like this is
When you go
like
outside
extreme
and
warning does not mean like when it's extreme wind warning.
gust
That's
to
me
extreme wind.
is when you
This
go
still windy.
outside and you're annoyed at how windy it is. I hate wind. I'll say
I
it like
dislike
wind will
wind.
ruin any day. It can
Wind's
be plus
awful.
30. It can be minus 20. If it's calm, it's great.
Lovely.
You
Once
get
it gets
wind
to
into
15
it,
or
it
more.
screws it all up. But you don't need to have 100-kilometer-hour winds in order
To say
to call
it's
it windy. My dad's kind of like that too, where it's like minus 25 and it's not cold because there's other places that are kind of like colder.
I think
no,
Still
Dad,
cold. It can
this
still
is-
be.
this
it
is
doesn't have to be
Yes.
the coldest,
Once we're
but it can still
starting
be
to get
cold.
above 20,
Yeah.
it's starting to be windy. Anything over 30 especially, and then you're gusting over 40, 50. That's without question
Yeah.
windy. Like that's not even
That's windy.
that's very windy.
Find
and then
one-
I think it's once you're closer to
Yeah.
40, 50, then you get to the extreme. You get
Find
the
one
actual
of those
extreme wind
signs that
warnings.
show you how fast you're going.
Yeah.
And then run.
What's your record? Because you run that.
It was like 26 or something like that. There's a video of it. But think about how how fast you're going, right? And that's only like a 20-kilometer-hour gust.
Right.
Well, so right now,
windy.
28 kilometers an hour, according to Environment Canada. Later, it's chances of gusting to 40.
I thought it was supposed to settle
windy.
down.
No.
40 is a
Did you-
playground zone. Like that's it's pretty decent. You try keeping up to a car. Like, that's
It's
still
a lot.
fast.
It's a lot.
Good kite weather.
Sucks
Very
my
good kite
balcony.
weather.
I hate the wind. And that wind's because my balcony's not covered. Our balcony's
Yeah, mine
mine's
is.
But you're higher
completely
up than
open.
you.
I'm completely
I'm only
high
ninth
up. I've
floor.
got nothing blocking me north or west, and usually the wind does come from the west. And I can't sit out on the patio when it's too windy.
That's
It's
where
just keep
I
going.
have.
My buddy who
Blocking.
lived in lives in Toronto, he used to live on like the 37th floor, like
Overlooking
right,
Sky,
right
though,
down.
right?
Yeah. And you go out there when it's windy, like you're actually scared. It's swaying back
I've
and
seen
forth.
some
Like, ugh.
TikToks of New
Make me
York
sick.
City
Yeah.
where people can't even open their windows when they're like 50 stories up or whatever because the wind's just, it's not even like this windy type thing. It's just a decent amount of wind and it just blows it completely shut.
Yeah.
Because you're just so high up. And then there's no protection. There's nothing
Nothing
blocking
stopping
it.
you.
So it's just, you get, like for me, if it gusts to 40, I get 40.
Yeah.
I don't get any protection. So I hate the
see,
wind.
mine's
It sucks
good
for golf.
Mine's protected. I have a little like cove
Yeah.
thing. It's nice sitting out there yesterday with Cameron.
And you got a couple of buildings to help block
Yeah.
some of it and stuff.
Yeah, and you're on the northwest corner.
Northwest with
Yeah,
nothing.
you get it all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So it all comes. When it comes to golf, I could golf in rain. I could golf when it's cold. It's the wind that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Out of anything when I'm golfing, it's the wind I can't stand.
It is tough. It makes it a pain in the ass.
And according to Chad Urschel, it doesn't matter.
Hey, I thought he
He-
clarified that.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Poor Ursh.
I messaged him. I was like, Maddie's really ripping into
Oh,
you
you're one of the
today.
people that got to him.
And he was like,
What?
and he sent me this big. I'm like, Chad, I don't care.
Yeah, and
You-
you know, what's funny? He still never texted me. Like with that, we ended up exchanging some texts later, but he sent it to Eric.
yeah.
That was awesome.
So no, I still he said it doesn't matter.
Well,
When you're
his
thinking about
point, his point was that with each shot that you shoot, it goes somewhere else.
Yeah, no,
so
I
you don't
understand
need,
what he was
You
saying.
don't, because you're not consistent, you don't need to take 40 minutes and worrying about the wind because regardless, it's going to go somewhere else.
What he said
that
at the
was
time.
his point.
I know, but what he said at the time was when I was saying like you got to club up. If you hit it right, it's you. If you're shooting into the wind, you got to club up. And he went, it doesn't matter. The ball's not going to go as far.
For you.
No, he was saying in general.
No, I think
for
what he meant
us.
was
he said
for you.
all of us. It's not the wind isn't going to push it back.
He was
we're not
basically what he was
enough.
saying was you could use a putter or a driver and still going to kind of go the same way.
That's not what he was saying at the time to me.
That's what he.
I know he's trying to do 2020 change the past.
Oh, you've never done that.
I don't. I'm pretty legit.
I feel like this is like a family strife right now.
Yeah.
And Gager and I are just kind of here to be a part of it.
I'm legit. I'm above board. When it comes to the Dunya as a commissioner, everything is public knowledge. There's your eternal audit still going on. You've won still 4 times since you started the eternal audit.
The eternal audit.
Yeah. He meant it. He wrote that one time.
Autocorrect.
He screwed it up. And so, yeah, now it's
So
just
now it's the constant
it's the eternal audit of the commissioner. He just keeps auditing me.
Nice.
Year after year, we need to.
Just never stops.
My goodness.
Okay, we got to get to Hangout headlines.
Yeah.
Which I will go to the Canadian Football League first.
Sweet.
Where
We've had great stories.
Yeah.
you guys have been telling, well, mostly great stories, very sad story
Yeah.
to start,
But compelling.
absolutely.
Yeah.
News from the Canadian Football League today as their season launches in Winnipeg tonight. But starting in September, games will be aired on CTV. As
good.
they have announced that the 1 o'clock Mountain Time, the 3 o'clock Eastern Saturday games starting September 7th will be aired on TSN and CTV. They'll also deliver afternoon playoff matchups and the 111th Grey Cup on CTV, something a lot of CFL fans and myself have been demanding and yelling about for a number of years, that it's got to be over the air, it's got to be free, especially your championship games.
Yeah.
This is the step to the TSN and CTV doing it properly. They're just missing one thing in my mind, which is they play Sundays at 5 o'clock throughout the entire summer. Air that game, because starting in June, this weekend, you could do that until September.
Yeah.
Then NFL Sunday Nighter takes over. Then you go into the NFL playoffs. You award the Super Bowl. You just have a nice Sunday programming from June till February of NFL.
And you're saying it's starting this year in September?
Yes.
Why do you know why September does it start? Why wouldn't it just kick off right away? Or programming? I don't know. Maybe. But there's not much.
I don't think there's much
anymore.
programming in the summer for CTV.
Well, there's not much left for them to program anymore.
Why
Like-
not have it? Like,
Well,
what-
that's what I said. Like, I
According to Jim, is
you
on
don't
every-
generally start, like, there's no new television that comes on
can't
in
bump
the
that.
summer.
Isn't it Bachelor in Paradise? Is that on CTV? That's
Oh,
always
my.
Oh, Amazing Race happens, but
Yeah.
The thing I would say is I haven't looked at the CFL schedule. Outside of a Sunday, I don't know if there's a consistent time. So, like, I'm assuming starting September 7th, the rest of the way, there's a game at 3
maybe,
o'clock
yeah.
Eastern, 1 o'clock Mountain all the time that they could air or something. I haven't looked fully yet. I don't know why they're not doing it in the summer. Maybe they also just think that people are at the cabins.
Maybe it's Old Bachelor. That's a terrible.
Old
probably
Judge.
it, yeah.
Oh, gross.
God, that was gross.
So Saturdays are at 5 through the summer. I'm going to get to...
And for those that don't know, TSN Sports, those are specialty channels. Like, everybody gets CTV standard cable package.
Why were people complaining about the Stanley Cup playoffs not on CBC? They're only on.
Sportsnet?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I
But
think
they're
they
on
got,
City as well, I'm pretty
I think
sure.
they got the times wrong because the only games are 2 o'clock Mountain. So it must be 4 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Mountain, unless they're changing the time of those games. But yeah, like the Saturdays at 2, they don't happen throughout the summer. So maybe because you don't want to do, I think that maybe they don't want to just start 5 o'clock throughout the summer and then shift it to 2.
Yeah.
They just want to be consistent.
regardless,
And that's when in TV, like in TV and radio, you don't care about your summers that much.
Yeah.
Truthfully, you don't sell it to advertisers that well.
Yeah,
Fall you will. So it gives them a little something for programming. I could see maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, like it's about time, and it's good that they are doing it because any way that you can get that game out there to more people to see it, it's good for the league.
Well, it matters, as Gage pointed out with the CBC and the Oilers and the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
People still there are some people that still go to the over-the-air channels.
Yeah.
Or whether it's they don't pay for cable and they get it over the air because you can still do that with an HD antenna.
When you can still do it
Or
with like
if you just have regular cable or
CBC
normal.
online, right? Like you don't have to pay for.
I think ABC is airing them, so ABC comes standard, right?
Might be.
Right, but it's not over the air type thing. So it's if you have a regular package,
Yeah.
ABC is generally part of it.
Yes.
So you could watch it on ABC.
And I know that it's
But
gonna
if
be
you
on
don't pay
ABC
for cable and you do have the
antenna.
old school bunny ears,
Yeah.
but you do the new one with the HDTV, ABC wouldn't be part of that.
Oh.
I don't believe.
And like I said with CBC, like you don't need any. You can just go and watch their.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Why it wouldn't be on CBC? Maybe it has something to do with the Rogers deal coming. It's winding down. I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't read the
on.
full article, but they committed already to a programming decision months ago.
Okay.
And they're not changing that.
The Rogers deal's coming to an end?
Well, it's like
Next
1 year
year.
left, yeah.
Actually, we're in for an interesting time broadcasting wise in this country. Because we do see the Monday Nighter for NHL going to Amazon, but the Rogers deal ends next year. Or is it the year after?
One more year.
One more year?
I think it's 1 more.
26, I thought.
CFLs is what 2025.
CFL, maybe that's where. This is the third last year of the CFL deal, I believe. I think 2026 the final year of the deal. They extended to 26. So there's this year, next year, and the year after in the CFL. Let me look at the NHL deal. Because we're going to see a major shift, and it's like the NBA is getting set to announce a $72 billion
What?
deals combined between, I think, ESPN, NBC, Peacock, and a bunch of things for their next deal.
Wow.
Like I think combined, it's like 72 million. It's going to feature Amazon or something billion.
Yeah.
Like total. But it's those leagues are starting to shift. Like when the NFL and NBA start going to the streaming,
Well,
you've got to start going to
and
the
like,
streaming.
regardless of what you want to say about wrestling too, but like
Netflix.
WWE is going on Netflix for Monday Night Raw.
Wow.
Like it's they got their entirely own streaming service in the WWE network. Like it is going that way. If we can just bring it back to the CFL side of things, like the CFL Plus, like it's great. I wish though that they would be getting in on something that somebody already has. Like a Netflix or an Amazon. Like if you are going to go to a streaming site, don't kind of create your own, because like I went looking for them for preseason and found it, but for the average fan who might be over the age of 55, 60, like to run that through your smart TV and go to the actual internet browser of it and get it and find it, like it's not the easiest of maneuverings, right?
So the NHL's got 2 more years on Rogers.
Oh, okay.
The CFL has 1 more year on TSN after this year. It's this year, next year for TSN. Then they need new rights. And for the NHL, they got next year, the year after. So next year, well, I would think as soon as possibly this year, Randy and the CFL need to start looking at their next deal. You need to start getting that figured out. Because I don't know if TSN's going to pay $50 million again.
They're paying all the salaries, basically.
Yes, but I don't know if TSN's, like with where broadcasting is gone and money, I don't know if they have $50 million to spend a year.
Or
and
if they
I don't
want
know
to anymore.
That's if you're the CFL. I also don't think you should be committed as much as I love certain people at TSN. Dusty's doing great things there. I don't like leagues being tied into one broadcast.
100%. Yeah.
There's
What
a
does
reason.
it cost for like a single broadcast? Isn't it like a couple $100,000 to do one?
Just the truck alone is like $40,000, I think,
Yeah.
for the day, plus all the staff and stuff.
I heard it was an astronomical number. Like
Yeah, it's
just
not cheap.
Yeah, so
And that's one of the reasons I heard for the Oilers that they might eventually shy away from putting games on Oilers Plus because they've realized how much it costs to be on a game, and they're going,
yeah, we don't.
we now actually
need
have
to
to
do
make
that.
more money than we thought because we have to now pay all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why the watch party went up to $20.
I love some people. I admire them. They're like, maybe they just want to raise more for charities. No.
I defended my defense yesterday on the oil stream. Tommy didn't buy it stuff.
I appreciated your defense of it, but I just didn't buy it.
But yeah, back to the CFL. Like the NFL is on every network for a reason. Yeah. Now the CFL is not in the same level as the NFL. The NFL's on every network for a reason, partly because they can control every network now, and they can go, "Oh, you said something bad about us. Oh. When's your deal up?
Next
Let's
year.
take a look at that one."
Yeah.
But I just also think it's better for exposure because I remember when Sportsnet actually cared about the CFL.
Yeah.
When they carried the Eric Tillman GM press conference live.
Yeah.
And Arash Madani was here in the locker room interviewing everyone.
All
and
he
stuff.
does is rip the league now.
But it's like the stats. Like I don't watch the highlight packages on any network. It's been a long time. I don't know when Sportsnet gets to the CFL.
They do.
If they
They've
do,
been doing
like-
it more lately. I've learned. I've seen.
But even though too, like it's good to have good to have the parity, right? You can like I always find with TSN is that they shy away from ever kind of like saying anything negative about it because again it's their product, like they're referees. It feels like you don't want to ever say like that was a bad call because technically if you really look at it they're kind of employees of TSN, right? Why would you knock on your own product? Like you need to kind of do that. There also should be a standard to who's doing the games, like who knows like for color and all that kind of stuff. Like you can't just have anybody come on there and do it, right? There should be a standard, and if you're not kind of cutting the mustard, it should go somewhere else. Like give it the due credit that it deserves, right?
You're stuck with me this Saturday, by the way.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to the game.
Are you?
Yeah.
Just don't heckle me too much.
I'll be okay. Hernan gets that one.
Yeah. Okay, good.
No, I just think, like I said, it should be more leagues or more stations, more.
Well, when it's
companies
the
having it
attention,
there.
and now look, I don't think the CFL's next deal is going to be TSN and Sportsnet. That would be the dream for me. I don't think Sportsnet will be interested. They're too busy with the Blue Jays. They don't have the programming, I think, for the ability to add it as much. It will be probably a streaming and maybe TSN. I don't think TSN is going to throw in the keys and walk away, especially with this move to adding CTV. I actually think this is a move by them to try to convince the CFL that they should keep the rights.
Yeah.
I think this is a move to.
I hope that they don't go to a streaming service.
I think that's where things are going, though. I don't think how you like.
I
I would be opposed to it as well, depending on if there's money. Like if TSN says, "Okay, we're going to carry."
It's going to be too out of
We'll
sight, out
carry-
of mind for them, and that's.
But if
not
TSN
good
goes,
to
we're going
have
to carry half the games now. We'll do the Grey Cup playoffs. We'll pick up the marquee, and we'll give you 30 mil a year. And DAZN comes and says, we'll give you another 30 mil for the rest of the games. And also, you're making now 60 mil as a league. That's just better for the league.
I know, but now you're going to be asking people to pay for the CFL to watch it.
The thing is, that's where we're all going, anyways. And that's where, like, if you got to pick the right streaming service if you're the CFL, because you got to be on a streaming service that everyone else is on.
Well,
Good
that's
Yeah, you
that
can't
would
have
be
your
it,
own.
right? That's why I
Yeah.
don't want you to go on your own for your own kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because why would you go
But
there?
also, you can't go to don't go to Fubo TV because
No.
I don't know fully what's on Fubo TV. Just because Premier League is there,
Right.
You
Paramount.
don't need the Premier
Yeah.
League fans,
Right.
You need to be where DAZN
NFL.
has the NFL,
Yeah.
so that would be the perfect one. Or you need to go to Amazon because that's where NHL is going to be, at least with Monday Nighters.
Yeah.
You got to go somewhere where the Canadian audience is generally already gravitating towards,
Yeah.
and be like, we're going to put our product there. So like, hey, we're on Amazon too. Watch Monday Nighter, Oilers, Leafs, but also you could catch Argos Ticats this weekend as well, all on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Not to a CFL Plus, because then why else would anybody be going there? You're only going there for that, and it's
Who are they using on Amazon? Do you know? Have
They haven't announced that yet,
Anyone?
but they will do their own. It sounds like
Really?
yeah, and that's also to what CFL would like is to keep things fresh with TSN, force them to get better by having a better broadcast. We're seeing in the States, ESPN isn't doing as good of a job. Everyone's looking at TNT going, man, look at what you're doing.
They're doing
Yeah.
fantastic.
And now Sportsnet's getting ripped here too because of what TNT has. Because you're sitting there going,
Yeah.
This is a broadcast we could have in Canada, and we don't have this. Why not?
Yeah, it's all Canadians
Nah.
with one American on there.
You remember the CBC and CFL broadcast?
yeah, and it was like a table like 15, like it was like the Last Supper almost. You know what I mean? There's so many people.
I miss Chris Wolby.
Don Whitman,
Don Whitman.
great voice.
Benefield.
Yeah.
Benefield. Their Grey Cups were awesome
They were
because they
epic.
brought in
Elliot Freeman
so
was
many
on there
people.
too.
Elliot started there. Yeah.
Elliot started there. Mark Lee would call the games.
Mark Lee.
Yeah. I think he got a couple of Labor Day classics, like the Ed Hervey helmet toss. I think that was a Mark Lee special.
Because the number one, which would for the longest time was CC,
Yeah.
he would have been out east.
He would have been doing Argos Ticats.
Did he also did 07 Grey Cup too, right?
Who?
Mark Lee?
Whatever the last Grey Cup would have been.
It would have been 07.
would have
Yeah,
been
it was on CBC.
Mark Lee because Cuthbert left at one point to TSN because he was going to get the NHL and he knew they were going
Right.
to eventually get the Grey Cup,
okay,
and he
yeah.
then took over the Grey Cup from there. I miss him doing the.
He's
CFL.
great. It's nice having
but we get
him
Dusty.
around.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. He if he doesn't leave, we don't have more
That's a
Dusty
good
on
point.
there.
Yeah.
So I think we've
That-
made up really
How
well.
close is Dusty doing the Grey Cup?
It's awesome.
How close do you think it
Oh,
would be?
very close.
He should have been doing it already. I don't
Yeah.
want to disrespect Rod Smith.
And he did do the radio
love-
broadcast.
He does.
last
He
night,
does
by
do the
way, we
radio.
should say.
I
It's
know.
like to
Well,
me,
they had the
montage.
Yeah.
Pump up.
it's Rod Smith. Like I don't know if I don't know if you guys did. I'm sure you did. Watch the CFL preview shows this week on TSN.
Yeah.
Rod Smith at the panel is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he's at
But
his
so is-
best.
so is Kate. She's
She
good.
is.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying, Rod Smith to me, his play-by-play isn't there. He's best at the panel,
But
not
this-
on play-by-play.
this is kind of-
Dusty's your best play-by-play, and the one thing I don't like that TSN does, and this isn't because we work with Dusty, this isn't because I'm friends with Dusty. It's just to me from my years in the industry, it doesn't make sense. Is tonight the CFL will start in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
You have Rod Smith with Glenn Suter. The Grey Cup will take place in Vancouver in November, and it'll be Rod Smith and Glenn Suter. They're being shown in those two ways as the number one team for the CFL.
And then for
In
the rest,
between,
yeah.
Dusty's with Glenn Suter all season. Like, you don't go to ESPN and have Joe Buck and Troy Aikman do the first Monday Night Football game
And
and,
then Al
eventually
Michaels
do the
will step
Super
in
Bowl,
and do-
but have them do with different people all year. You have your crews in the NFL, and I understand sometimes during the season you have to mess with crews.
Yeah.
But your crew is Dusty and Suits. Your crew is Rod Smith and Dwayne Ford.
But this is
Keep
where I
'em.
think having like the two networks taking care of it, or whoever they would be, would kind of push each other to do better, to have either fresh blood come in and just spice things up a little bit, right? Like you said with Smith and Ford, like they're great, but it's kind of boring sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
I want Marshall on color. I want to see him on color.
on color for
I'd like to
sure.
see-
Yes, because he's smart.
better
He
as-
gets it.
He'd be a better
Yeah.
color guy than a play-by-play guy.
And there's guys.
I like actually them adding Enoch Mwamba on the panel. I think
good.
he's going to
Yeah.
be interesting this year.
Sure.
I can't wait till Bo Levi Mitchell needs to go in the booth.
Yes.
The moment
Yeah.
his career is
Him
done.
and Dusty would be a fantastic and for younger fans coming in, a guy who's just finished playing, not somebody like. Again, I don't want to knock Glenn Suter or anything like that. Don't want to get blocked or anything. But if like I was 1 year old when he held the kick for the Grey Cup. I'm going to be 36 this year.
Well, he
Like, for
started.
new
He started
fans-
broadcasting in '96 or something
Right,
like that.
but for
I
new
think.
fans who are coming, like you might not know who Glenn Suter is. And I'm not saying like to get rid of the past, because like it is good to but you got to have somebody in there at least this last decade,
Yeah, maybe.
right?
I don't know. It's
2 decades
because I look
even.
at the NFL and
Like the
I
early
see one
aughts,
network
do
doing
we
it.
not?
Fox had Greg Olson, who became.
Yeah.
He won an award. They're gonna have Tom Brady come in, but
What's
Troy
happening
Aikman,
with Olsen? Is he gone?
he's gonna be second group or
okay.
something now, which is just fascinating to watch.
He's good.
Although
I like Olsen.
I'll say this
Same.
about Tom Brady: I didn't think he'd be a great broadcaster, and then I saw him call or break down a play on some
did
clip
he?
once, and it was brilliant. And then it hit me, and Mina Kimes pointed out there was something like, "This is a guy that studies." And he when he obviously as a quarterback, he puts his mind to something. He focuses on that. So like I fully expect that he's gonna break down these games, break it down properly. Like I actually am now really intrigued to see him because I think he's gonna be really good. But they have a newer guy.
Yeah.
But Sunday Night Football, Chris Collinsworth, he hasn't played for a long time. ESPN now has Troy Aikman. He hasn't played for a really long time.
I get it. I know.
CBS is
Troy
now. They have Tony Romo, so they've gone the new way. But so there's the mix of in the NFL, they've stuck with the old school in some networks and those guys haven't played for a long time. And the new guys on the other networks, they're coming in, and it's a nice balance, I guess, if you will. So maybe that's what we
There
need.
should be a balance, right?
Keep
I would
Suits,
say.
but bring in Bo Levi.
Yeah.
I'm okay
for
with
sure.
that. Suits is great. I like
I
Dwayne.
love Suits.
Ford
Dwayne
has,
is knowledgeable,
a wealth of
but
knowledge. Yeah,
but it's you might need to split them up with somebody, right? Because like those two guys together, sometimes you can hear the birds chirping in the background. It's just a little dull.
I love when just before the snap and Romo
Already telling you
sees
what's going on.
He's going, watch this, watch that, and he sees it, right? So Brady, I'm assuming it'll be similar from being a
I
quarterback
don't know
that
if he'll
long.
do that because Romo stopped doing that a little bit because the reports are he kind of was told no. Teams didn't like it. Teams didn't like it.
What? He recognizing formations? Jesus.
Teams weren't a fan. And he's regressed a little bit as a broadcaster in my eyes because he's now just, whoa, boy, look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome. That's all it is. But he's kind of stopped the predicting. Because
stuff?
apparently teams got upset.
Really?
Yeah.
How could they get upset? What is there? Someone listening to? Oh, Romo said, "Let's switch."
Yeah.
Come on. Well, whatever. That's silly. That's
was-
great.
Have you ever been in a booth?
No.
Have you ever done color?
No.
No?
Would you want to?
I think it would be very difficult.
Yeah.
You would be fine. I did it in the AHL a bit, and thank you. So I'm an expert. But like, it's good because you're just following the play-by-play.
I know,
and
yeah,
if you have
yeah.
a good lead, you're like, oh, okay. You would be great.
It's funny because when I listen, I kind of think more as. Not that I'm a broadcaster, but I think like I
Why aren't you
listen
a
to
broadcaster?
Louis
You are a
or stuff.
broadcaster. You have
You do two guys
you
in
have
the
a
goal. You're on the
show.
Sportsnet panel.
Yeah.
You're on the Hangout once a week. This is broadcasting.
I
That's
do
called
keep showing up.
broadcasting.
But when I listen to like Louis do it, I think is great. And even Gary Galley, I'm just on the hockey side of things. They the perfect amount of pause. Harry Neal or just those guys. They make it look so easy. And I always say the mark of a true professional is making something that's quite difficult look like anyone else can do it.
That's Dusty to me.
Oh,
I
gosh.
still am amazed at how he crushes the amount of content that he does on EST with ease. And then I'm doing two guys with you, and I'll be stressing after the show a lot about planning that show and making sure it goes well. And Dusty just sits there and he just does it, and
I
he's just
know.
jolly, and he just makes it like so seamless.
Dude.
He's absolutely incredible.
He called that silly little thing we were doing, that United Cup.
Yeah.
And I was phoning in the next day. Like, we were actually doing it on days, and I was doing the breakdown of the game. It was so
COVID was a weird time.
Oh my God. But he must have went straight to bed after those games, because you ever try to like do play-by-play for a video game? Like, it's
Ridiculous, yeah.
ridiculous. And he was nailing it. And then Gaetan Haas scored the OT winner to win the Stanley Cup. Like, it couldn't
Just
have
like we
worked out.
predicted.
We broke it down, and we were getting mad at Mike Smith. And the best part of it all was in that game. It's Ray Ferraro.
Yeah.
In between the matches, every game, Dusty goes, "Ray, what do you think about that?" Nah, nothing from Ray. It was just great.
It would have been great to have like Coolbet as a sponsor during that time.
Oh,
hey,
my
like who
God.
putting the over under
Awesome.
on who's gonna.
Oh,
Actually, thank you for bringing that up, because I will quickly throw out Coolbet. I built an EST parlay for the Stanley Cup Finals on the Edmonton Oilers. Thank you to Big Uke, who was a big help in building this up. It's plus 1,200.
Wow.
So it's a big one. What's the parlay? What we've got for this series is McDavid 9+ points, Bouchard 6+ points, Hyman 5+ points, Nugent Hopkins 4+ points, Draisaitl 3+ goals, and Edmonton win the cup in 6 or 7 games, plus 1,200 exclusively at Coolbet. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea, Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Lucas Holt, Tom Gazzola with you. Let's qualify someone for the $100,000 hole-in-one, which is presented by Golf Town. Will take place July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Hole 17, 180 yards out. Swing big this Father's Day and find dad or yourself the perfect gift at Golf Town. Save big with huge deals on TaylorMade in-store, online. Now through to June 9th, that is Sunday. Don't miss their top deals like a TaylorMade Sim 2 driver for only $330, 25% off TaylorMade bags, plus much more this Father's Day. Give the gift of golf. Visit them in-store or online, golftown.com for details. Some exclusions apply. Golf Town, your ultimate destination for Father's Day gifts. 780-218-9999. Get your phone out to text. Got to make sure I know what the keyword is.
Cam Moon texted me.
Oh, hey Moon.
Mooner, he's having a coffee.
Listening to us?
Doubt it.
Yes.
Is that why you texted in? Or did you
Said
just
what
randomly
were you
text
guys
you?
discussing on the patio?
Oh, before I get the Kepka. Well, no, because he says Camoon. Kepka is what you need to text in. Kepka. Koepka. Kepka to 780-218-9999. You'll go into a draw for the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town.
You watched that full swing with him and his.
I saw season 1 with him.
Yeah.
I haven't watched season 2 still yet.
Okay.
I have 2 or 3 episodes, and I felt bad for Joel Damon because of all the fame, but at the same time, it looks like he's figured out. He had a good Canadian Open, didn't he? Phil Davis.
Actually, you want to know something? I didn't even see.
He was
how
like
it fully
tied for
ended the
6th.
Canadian Open.
Going into Saturday?
The tennis one and the golf one didn't have the same appeal to me as the F1.
I haven't watched the tennis one yet. When I watched the golf one, I remember thinking I could understand how average people won't care and won't get into golf.
Yeah.
But a golf fan will
Will like
possibly
it.
like this because it like to me, I was indifferent on Scotty Scheffler prior, and I was like, oh, I like this guy now.
Yeah.
And
don't
it was
think so?
nice to see behind. I actually became a fan of Scotty because of that.
I think a real, well, maybe you need a real sports nut. Even if they don't watch golf, they would like the kind of things they go through. Like, I'm not a
Oh,
huge.
but I don't think it would convince you to get into watching golf like F1 did type thing.
No,
stuff like that.
yeah, maybe you're right.
Like, I don't think a casual person who doesn't really follow golf is going to watch Full Swing and go,
I
oh,
wanna
what's
watch
happening
golf.
at the PGA this
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah.
Whereas, how many people watch Full Drive to Survive and we're already starting to be like, oh, what's happening in F1 now?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we all did. Right. Like, and then you heard that just time and time again. And I don't think Full Swing had that
Yeah.
appeal. And I think tennis would probably, I can't remember what it was called. The tennis one.
Remember
full
either.
swing. No,
Half
break
swing.
point.
Break.
Break.
point.
No,
I
no
don't think it would have
thanks.
had the same appeal.
I think it was the fish one. Was it the Marty Fish episode? Unbelievable.
Felix
tennis?
Auger-Aliassime
Yeah.
was featured in one of them. I think
Yeah.
the first one or
I
something.
think it's
Canadian.
the second season, so I got to get back and watch that. Those are good.
I still have to watch.
I
Well,
need
I'm
to
not gonna
finish
watch.
Full Swing season 2.
I also got to watch the Beckham doc.
Awesome.
supposed
That's
to
what
get
it's
around.
very
Yeah.
good. Very, very good.
By
yes.
the way, Canada taking on Netherlands 12:45 today in a friendly. We're getting set for Copa America.
this
in a
is
couple
an
weeks.
important game.
Not really.
Even I recognize the importance of this game
It's
because we're
it's
playing
a friendly.
Netherlands,
Yeah,
and
but
I
it's a
used
friendly.
we.
It's a friendly. So like
We
it's
need
the
this.
first manager. It's the manager's first game on the sideline on the touch. You know,
We
with
need a
Jesse
good
Marsh.
showing.
He needs to. He's just trying to learn what his team is. The Netherlands are getting set for Euros. Canada's getting set for Copa America. Look, they're going to probably lose 3-0 or something
I'm
like
gonna
that.
have a great
I
game.
don't have a big issue with it because it is a friendly. It's just it's a They'll play
You're
France
wearing your
next week.
kit?
Yeah, because it's game day.
Do you want to
Two Hoots?
some the glass alcoholise in there? For me, please?
Yeah, Mooner was asking about you last night. Gage.
Was he?
Yeah.
Say when.
Big fan of yours.
Is
That
he?
Cam Moon. Yeah, then we were talking about Steve Passmore.
Oh, thank you. Perfect. Yeah, Mooner tells
way.
that story because Passy had a cramping ailment.
Yes.
And he came up to because he was looking at doctors and stuff, and found Mooner. And I guess Mooner says, "This is great." And Mooner was going to Nate at the time
Yeah.
or whatever, but completely damaged his liver over the 2 weeks. He wanted Passy to get sent back down to the minors more than anyone else on the planet at that point because, he was killing him.
Mooner found out, or he told the story about when they found out what it was that was
Yeah.
affecting Steve Passmore. Because he was supposed to be like, you guys, there's a bunch of you, Freddie Brathwaite, Steve Passmore, all around that time,
Yeah.
right? And somebody was supposed to be the next guy.
Yeah.
And I don't remember vividly, but I remember when Steve Passmore finally got some games with the Oilers, and they're talking about him being like, "Oh, we've been waiting and waiting for this guy," and I was like, "Who the hell is he?" Like, I didn't know. I was,
He was a great goalie.
Yeah.
Unreal goalie.
and so they found out the cramping had to do with the well water at the lake
Oh, really?
place
I
that
didn't
he
even
bought.
know.
Yeah, it didn't have like the nutrients,
Oh,
and it
so-
would cramp his body up.
Yeah.
sucks.
It was crazy because he'd look like he was the first year. It was so odd because he couldn't get through the game, and then we had Pete Mahovlich was our coach, and he no doctor by any means. Like this guy was hilarious. I remember the first time we had like a team get together, and he goes, "Joaquin, come here. I want you to meet my wife." And he's like, "Yeah, that's my second wife." He's like, "Actually, that's my fourth wife." And he was like this long pause. He goes, "I can't even remember my second wife." So he was a little bit out there. He would bring his dog to practice, Lucy, and put her in the penalty box, and we would just open it all the time. And Lucy'd get out on the and start running. It was like this is professional. I can't believe this. And he would never get it. He goes, "That dog is so smart. Gets out of that penalty box every single time. It's unbelievable."
Didn't you say that would end the practice?
Oh, well, we would just get a break, guys. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they'll- like, not me, obviously. I was young and full of spunk and vigor, but some of the older guys, it was too many screwdrivers the night before, and just wanted to maybe cut her a little short and start shooting pucks around. So Lucy'd be taking, on the defensive regroups. There's Lucy going back in the corner to pick up the puck. But no, it was Passy would take off all his stuff and go have a shower because that's what Pete said would help him with the cramping. So, and I'm like, this guy needs to relax more than anything. So he'd take everything off, jump in the shower, get everything back on, and just enough time to get back out on the ice. And by the, I could see him by the second period. He was like, he'd make a save and couldn't really get back up after a while. And I don't know if your body has ever cramped up like completely. It happened to me a few times playing. But it's the most painful, awful experience you've ever had.
I get one in the foot and I want to die.
No, this was I remember happened to me in when I played in Sweden, and in the third period they took me off on like a you know, if you go to Costco and you need a ton of crap, like that's what I was on, like this flatbed all the way, and I remember because that I got in there and I was cramping up like crazy, and like finally like cut away all my gear. And the doctor goes, "Oh, we got to give this guy morphine, and just to relax me." So, and man, that stuff is fantastic. Because my wife came in, he goes, "What's going on?" I go, "I don't know. They're trying to give me morphine." And I'm not very veiny. I guess they had to put it in my toe, like real, like, you know, druggy kind of stuff. We can't find a vein. And then so once that stuff went in, I was like, loosened me right up, and then went for a couple beers with the wife.
Everything was good.
A busy time coming up here in the city of Edmonton. We will get to CFL. We got get your Elks tickets now. Saturday season opener, 2:00. GoElks.com, Ticketmaster for tickets as they launch their season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Before we get there, though, I just want to throw this out there to get your guys' take. This is from Chris Johnston of TSN. After taking 520,000 votes from fans, Utah's NHL team is down to 6 possible team names.
Oh no!
So give me your thoughts on which one you like best. Utah Blizzard.
No.
Utah Hockey Club in brackets Utah HC. Utah Mammoth. Utah Outlaws. Utah Venom. Utah Yeti.
Yeti or Outlaws?
Mammoth or Yeti?
I go Mammoth, then Yeti.
Yeah.
So Yeti's the comp.
I go Yeti, then actually the Hockey Club.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of those things.
I hate that.
love those things.
Stupid.
I do too, but
I like the air. There's an arrogance to it that I just absolutely
There's a
adore.
stupidity to it.
No, it's look. If you're the first hockey club, like we're the hockey club.
There's
Just
no.
that's
You're
statue.
What are you putting on the logo?
Utah. It's like
probably still
college
putting
jerseys.
a Yeti on there.
You put you could put Utah.
Oh, like Rangers kind of.
Oh, yeah. Rangers did like college. They do
no,
that.
I keep
HC.
that with soccer.
Yeah.
It's the
But,
same thing. I hate
okay.
when like a football team will put their like a hockey jersey.
Well, the
put
Elks
the
did
crest
that a
on the
few years
front.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave that to hockey. Stick
Okay,
with your
but
numbers.
If we look at Salt Lake, they have the Utah Jazz, which doesn't make any sense.
Because they moved from where? St. Louis, right?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah. So.
And they're Real Salt Lake in soccer. So they've taken the stuff from soccer and brought it there. So they like doing, they go the different way. That's where like hockey club would fit. Or the other ones, I
here
like
they
that.
have
It fits their city
their
with what they're
first time
doing.
to be their own thing.
Yeah.
Original.
Identity.
Right? Yeah.
They're taking another team still.
It makes sense though when you're in Utah, you look at there are mountains all around. It's like in Denver, the Avalanche. Like there's it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeti's great. You get the mascot, it looks good, or
Easy
the mammoth.
sponsorship.
Yep.
Easy.
I think
get
I
the
saw
Yeti
somebody. Did
sponsorship.
somebody
Yeti,
make
right.
like kind of like a Photoshop of hockey player in just a white shirt with a black tie and like as their
Oh yeah,
uniforms? Like,
two guys on bikes. With, that would be great.
That'd be so good.
Utah Yeti, I could go for. I don't mind Outlaws because I think Utah kind of falls in that wild west.
You're seeing a lot more though, like non-plural teams. Hey,
Yeah, that's
where
true.
before it was like you didn't have too many of them.
Yeah.
Everything was an S. But yeah, Yeti or Mammoth. Blizzard is terrible.
Blizzard immediately makes me think of you're just ripping off the Colorado Avalanche here.
But it also
Mammoth
they
is
don't.
stealing from Denver because they got the Colorado Mammoth.
Then
in
that's
NLL.
the other
Yeah.
thing.
That's it.
about
That's the
Mammoth.
one thing
but
I'll say about Mammoth.
it's still kind of like I don't know. It doesn't Blizzard and what was Outlaw? It reminds me of just like okay, we're starting a league like a UFL or an XFL, and it's
Yeah.
like, here's one marketing firm or whoever, and we're going to make all the same logos from the same people, and it's just going to be
It's
the
create a team
extreme
in Madden.
outlaw,
Yeah.
running people or whatever, like whatever you want to call them. But it's just very, build a team on Madden. You only get X amount of options.
Right. Then I'm cool with Yeti. I think that was one we all said that's unique, and I think the Kraken kind of broke that mold, where it's like, they can't do Kraken, right? And everyone's like, release the Kraken, release the Kraken, and they've done it brilliantly. The logo is really nice.
But you could
That's where Yeti would work
if you
well.
want to. But you could also argue. Remember the Avalanche's shoulder thing with the Bigfoot foot?
Yeah,
That's Yeti, a Bigfoot, same thing.
but they've gone away from that for
yes,
like
they
a
have,
decade
yes,
already
yeah.
now. So
I wish they would go back for that.
it was neat.
like that.
But now if the Yeti take it, Colorado, they've really
Take the
embraced
foot.
like the old Rockies and the Colorado flag, state flag kind of logo with the C kind of thing, with the mountain in the back. They've
Yeah.
kind of reconnected with that.
What,
Colorado
they're
Rockies.
going to stay in the same division and all that stuff, right?
Everything
Okay.
stays the same. Yes.
Although there's a report yesterday that the New Orleans mayor is coming out saying that they're going to be getting an NHL team, they believe. So when we've
Okay.
talked about them going
Really?
to 36. So that means Arizona's a possibility, Houston, New Orleans, and Atlanta. when
Is
this
that
goes to
Kansas
36.
City?
What are
still
they
in the
called in the
mix.
East Coast League? The East Coast League?
It's just the ECHL now.
Okay.
It doesn't even stand for East Coast League.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is the team still in New Orleans? Is there a team still in New Orleans?
I don't know. There's been so many
I think they
teams
were called
coming.
the Brass when I played there. I remember going down there, and we played in like an old casino. Like there was chandeliers
In the arena?
In the arena, yeah. It was really like an interview with a
What an
vampire.
atmosphere.
And I remember because it was Mardi Gras when we were there.
Dim the lights a little. It's
Oh
always
yeah,
your play,
it was so dark in there. I couldn't see anything.
Doesn't look like there's a New Orleans team right now in the ECHL.
I remember in the cab because we were going out or whatever. We're going to a bar, and I go, "So where do we go?" And he goes, "Oh, we'll take you down to the French Quarter or whatever." And I remember he goes, "Yeah, so this is good." He goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he goes, "Just watch out for vampires." I'm like, "Excuse me."
Say again?
And then he goes, I go, "Come on, dude, vampires." He goes, "Well, people think they're vampires and they like to come up and bite people on the neck." And I'm like, "Oh, we'll see how the night goes."
Kinky.
But nothing. But there were people that looked like vampires down there.
When you said the New Orleans Brass, I thought you said the Brats.
Oh.
And I thought that'd be a great
No.
people with their hats on backwards, and just pouty people. That'd be a good name.
It was crazy. Yeah,
Brats
that
with
was
the Z.
Yeah, like Bugle Boy. Almost.
Yeah.
It felt like we were on synthetic ice. Like I don't know how they did that. It was crazy.
Congratulations to Ryan. He's our qualifier for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town, taking place July 3rd at the Ranch. He's looking to be, I think, the 9th contestant. Tomorrow we'll call one of the 4 qualifiers from today. Whoever gets the call will be a contestant on July 3rd with a possible chance of swinging for $100,000 at the Ranch. Saturday, you're slinging dogs.
Yep.
You know where you are?
No, I don't know yet. I'm pretty sure I'll probably be at concession 5, I think.
That's cool.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
concession 5 or something.
Is that on the west side?
I'll come see you.
Yeah.
I'll come see you too.
You said I don't. You didn't respond to me. I don't think yesterday, or in the nasty or the Paris Jewels inbox yesterday, or the day before.
Power rankings?
Power rankings of the CFL.
I did reply.
I didn't see it then in time. Then what is your power ranking for the CFL going into this season?
Well,
Toronto?
pardon me?
Toronto?
No, Toronto. Like, got a lot of questions, and they're starting off hard against BC too.
Yeah.
But I know, I personally, I know they're not the Grey Cup champions or even the runners up, but I'd say BC is number 1, with Winnipeg 2. I guess you put Montreal there, but even with Montreal, like last year they kind of caught lightning in a bottle at the right time, and Cody can be Cody, and you don't know what you're going to get each and every week with him. They did lose Austin Mack, but that defense is still really good, so you kind of put them there as 3. And then like I kind of maybe a toss-up between Toronto and Saskatchewan and Hamilton. All 3 of those guys, you could kind of interchange them between 4, 5, and 6, I would say. Like Hamilton, they might not have a great offense, but they still have Butler, and if Mitchell can get good, then,
But can he?
I don't know if he can stay healthy, if he can get the ball.
But even
out.
when he is healthy,
And
the
you
arms,
got- and
the
you got
shoulder
Malone-
strength, it just doesn't seem
But
there anymore.
maybe he doesn't have to. Maybe he doesn't have to go that far down the field anymore. And with Milanovic there now, and
Great coach.
Yeah, so there is an upside, but that's why you put him in that 4, 5, and 6 because there is also it's going to be one or the other. I think with Bo, and I don't know if Bo doesn't do it, is Powell even with another year under his belt, is he going to be strong enough? Powell and Crum both okay, they're good. Ish, but I don't think they're going to. And Evans in Montreal, I don't know if they'd ever be starting guys. But yeah, 4, 5, and 6 there with Saskatchewan. We'll see what new offensive coordinator and Mark Mueller does. If Trevor Harris can stay healthy, if that O line is going to be improved. I know they got with Hardrick. It should be better, but O lineman, you need continuity and you need to be there. So, and what's plagued them the last few years has been injuries. So. And then Toronto's, they lost a lot of people, and one big one being on defense, but the biggest one being Chad Kelly.
Well, yeah,
as the the reigning MOP, you don't just fill that gap, and you got Cameron Dukes. Having said that, though, I didn't think anything of Nathan Rourke when we first saw him when he played against Saskatchewan and ended up, but we given time to figure out the league. And
he did play well in against Winnipeg last year when the Argos
weeks,
played them and they rested a bunch of guys. Dukes did.
He
play
might
well
have time to figure it out because people don't have a lot of tape on you at this point in time too. So you can, you may be able to surprise a few people the first 2 weeks. But again, you're going up against BC, who arguably could have the best defense and best offense. But then after that, so those three. Then I'll give it to the Elks. Because they've gotten better on offense. Again, the question would be with their offensive line. How good is it going to be for a pocket passer to be able to have enough time to get to those weapons? Because he does have good weapons in receivers, right?
Yes.
You got Lewis, you got Cobb, you got Gittins Jr. There are good players, and you got a hell of a running back. But is the offensive line going to give him enough time to get that ball out? And then I guess Calgary being that low, I don't.
But now officially there is no John Huffnagel.
No,
and he
but
was the piece there.
It's still Calgary,
and now he's not even there
to rank them even low, kind of. I can
Doesn't
see it
feel
coming
right.
biting me in the ass because they always seem to come back, and no matter what, even with 6 wins last year, they still make it into the damn playoffs. You know what I mean? But and then Ottawa is just they have a good receiving core, they have a great defense, and they have a game changer in special teams.
I'm not sold on their coach.
Not sold on Bobby Dice and Drew. You got to show that you can be a starter too. So I don't know. So I'd give Ottawa the last.
They did bring in Ice Cube for their jersey.
And if we want to talk about and we'll probably get to it with the unveiling of the Elks jerseys yesterday. But all three of those, the ones that have been unveiled yet so far, Saskatchewan, Elks, and Ottawa. Those Ottawa jerseys,
super nice,
on clean, crisp, old kind of.
You guys
push
both
back
are big jersey guys.
To the Rough Rider sides, things it's a nice. I like those ones a lot.
Did you care about the jersey when you were wearing it? Did you care what it looked like, or is it just whatever? I'm putting this on. I got to go play a game.
And you cared about the money.
No,
did it matter as a player?
Yeah.
There's
certain jerseys that you put on or look better than others. It's really cool, man, when that first time you go into the dressing room and you see all the Oiler jerseys and you have one of them that you're wearing that night. That's ridiculously cool. In Europe, it was fun because they were just
plastered.
You had crap on everything.
You look
right?
like a NASCAR.
They looked. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah,
you look like an F1 car.
Yeah.
You know,
like
all your gloves, your pads, everything, your pants, everything's all over it. But no, I can't imagine. I never did, but putting on. I guess in Portland, I had the original Blackhawks thing. That was I think still that's the best jersey in hockey is the Blackhawks jersey. But I can't imagine going in and putting on a Leafs jersey or a Habs jersey. That's got to be those original 6 teams. That's going to be something cool because as a kid, you watch. Those are the teams you watch most.
Those City Connect MLB jerseys,
awful.
The one team not doing them, the New York Yankees. Okay. Like there are some organizations that also just sit there and be like, screw off.
Yeah.
We've got iconic stuff. The Detroit Red Wings too. Just screw off.
Yeah.
We don't need
When you
this
fit
other stuff.
perfection, why
Screw
change it?
Yeah.
Right?
That's when you're that iconic too. It's just we're good. We don't need this. Go away from us.
The Red Wings was my first NHL game I ever went to watch as a kid, and then they were actually the first team I was in the NHL when I got called up from junior to play against. And going out for a warm up and seeing them, like, they look great when even in the stands, right? But when you're on the ice with those things, those red ones with the the arching name on the back and
that font that
oh
they
my god, dude, they're I still say the Blackhawks are better, but that
Blackhawks red.
But the Blackhawks red is dynamite.
But even the white is crisp.
It pops.
I do like well, obviously Portland changed their logo, but I like the logo that they went to and that little touch of blue that they have in there. It's really nice.
It's good. It's good. I understand it. Whatever, but
and what is the Mount? Is it Mount Rainier that they have in the?
Look at you knowing your geography.
He knows his
Pacific
jerseys.
Northwest.
This is awesome.
yeah.
And
I'm
his
very
dog-
proud of you,
He's a
Luke.
big fan of the Pacific Northwest. One of his
Sad.
teams
I
is
love
up
the
there.
Southwest.
I was
He's
upset.
got his dogs are up there,
Yeah.
a little north.
They couldn't advance there. It's too bad.
Portland. Yeah, but
The
Moose Jaw,
factory.
again, as a Saskatchewan boy watching the Warriors and stuff too, like it was nice to see them go through it. I don't know if you guys saw the video of them when they came home up
Moose
to
Jaw- they were just crazy.
It's great for a little town of what 33,000 to
Is that all it is?
I think so. It's pretty small.
Really?
When we played,
Saskatoon's only like 300 and some thousand. Yeah,
That's a fun town. Saskatoon.
yeah. Oh yeah,
I
it's
really
great.
enjoy my time
summertime. Go
there.
in summer.
Fantastic.
Regina.
I don't hate
Party-wise.
Regina. It's
Party-wise, just for things to do. There's
not the
riders,
same
that's
as
it.
Saskatoon.
I'll take Saskatoon.
Regina's a different town.
Yeah.
Any day.
Regina's a lot like
Any
Edmonton. It's a working kind of blue collar town.
But I feel like when I've been to Saskatoon, and you know this better than me, though, like the night scene or something, I feel Saskatoon more like Edmonton, and there is something to. I don't feel like Regina and Edmonton are compared in that part.
Well, it depends. I don't know how much time you spend in Regina though.
Just with you.
Yeah. There's
Victoria's and that was it.
Yeah. No, it's it can be good. I know we always have some of our best shows in Regina. It's like I love Regina, so I can't say anything too bad about it. It's good. And it's not like Calgary where the best part about it is
province
getting
too
away.
and all that. But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I did love the trips that we did though from Saskatoon to Regina game days. I do recommend it.
Yeah.
Don't go to Regina for game day. Start in Saskatoon and do the whole trek and then stay in Regina.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just like the trek down. There's Aylesbury is the place. There's a bar that they have a flag you can sign that they
I think
take you
it's
to the
like-
game or something on the bus or something.
Or
does it just stay
I don't
there?
know. I think it just stays there.
But then they'll take a picture of you and they'll put it on the wall.
Yeah,
And then when
there's-
you come back a year later or next week or whatever it might be, you go and you try to find yourself on the wall.
There's
and you
pictures
see-
from like 15 years ago. You just find it.
And it's just so
very
cool.
good.
And it's just a nice little small
really?
hotel bar.
And I think it's only open on game days.
Yeah.
I think that like the people who own the bar might be like the only people in Aylesbury now.
Okay.
Like it's a pass through kind of ghost town just off the tracks a little bit.
There's a few other stops you could possibly make along the way. You're
We also-
excited because
yeah.
you're heading to a game or something. Like there's something about that trek.
And
that is a lot of
everybody
fun.
that you're passing to is in their green jerseys or they got their flags.
Gotcha.
So it's
You're all,
okay.
and most people are going down
It's
that
a
are on the
journey.
road for it. And it's just a fun little time. And
Okay.
The
it's supposed
game's
to take
almost
2 hours
secondary in
or
a
whatever,
sense,
but
yeah.
it takes you 4 because you're making your stops or whatever, and then you get there and it's okay. Let's go get to the game and
Yes.
go to their area outside and stuff. And
Yes.
then go to the game and go have a great time. And it's like the Elks, you got your 3-hour tailgate and then the game. Here it's like you could make it even longer because
there's-
you've got the whole trek down there and
You
stuff
have
like that.
you have the like. I love the fact that like Edmonton has their own team in the city and you live there and you don't have to figure out a weekend where you're going to stay in order to do it. But there is a beauty about like it is it's the whole trip. The game's almost secondary, right? Like it's the fun that you have with your pals in the car and the jokes that you make and the hotel and the walk down to the game. Like there is all of that. But you can't. Personally, I don't. Coming from somewhere where you had to make the trip for a game, like having a team in your own city, you can't be beat. Like,
it's fun to as an outsider
yeah.
going to Saskatoon do it. It's fun because that's a one-off.
Yeah.
But also knowing that growing up, it was always
Take the LRT down there. And you're there in
Dad,
15
we'd
minutes.
go
Like, that's-
park, whatever, go to the game.
Do you want to go to the
home.
game today? Sure, let's head down there. Like that's a pretty good option to have.
You can take a scooter from my place. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Share one if you want.
What was the name of
Did
the
it with my
bar
brother.
across from Commonwealth back in the
End
day?
zone pub.
End zone.
Yeah, wasn't it? I never went. Was it something?
Surprisingly good on game days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but outside of that, didn't bother.
It's,
We went there. I went there a few times.
Did-
What's
Oh,
there
not
now?
the
game
It's
days.
not there. What's-
it's a liquor store.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It's a transition liquor store, and the daycare's still next to it.
Yeah.
So now you drink outside the building as opposed to inside of it.
Now you go to tailgate.
Yes.
Which
There's
starts
some-
3
isn't
hours.
Wrexham, didn't they have? Isn't the bar?
It's right with the stadium,
It's
basically right
yeah,
there.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
But you're also like I know English rules. I don't know it's everywhere, but you also can't drink in stadiums.
And a lot of college football is like that too.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's why they drink outside at the pubs. Is they get drunk before the game, they go to the game, sober up, and then they go back to the pubs and drink more afterwards. College football's changing.
Yeah.
But part of that is drinking age is 21.
Yes.
So they wouldn't have
Yeah.
alcohol and stuff there. But now that they're going to, like some places are going to NFL stadiums and they're getting bigger stadiums, and they're also realizing there's how much revenue coming from people that are over 21. But my favorite is like I went to a USC UCLA game at the Coliseum once, and inside you can't get a beer because it's a college game. But before the game, me and my dad and brother were walking the tailgate, and we're seeing people passed out.
Yeah.
All these college kids are just completely plastered, and
Yeah.
they're underage drinking just outside. And you're like, just make the money.
Yeah.
Just sell it
Yeah.
inside and make the damn
Yeah.
money. They're already drunk.
Well, they like I know at Washington they just have it. They have their own little beer garden. You can't be in the stadium and drink. You just go outside and you sit in this cage, and then you finish your beer and then you go back in. But yeah, same thing. I saw a girl almost roll into Lake Washington down a hill. She went to go take a pee and then had her pants and she almost went in. Yeah.
into the lake or into the ocean.
No, well, it's lake.
Is the lake there?
Yeah,
I need to
Jesus.
go to a Huskies game.
yeah, it's great.
I'm mad at college football right now.
Why?
My Cougs are left alone.
Oh
and
yeah,
I hate the realignment.
You wanted
of it all.
that. That's what you said.
And I hate the realignment of everything. It's
Yeah,
just
but
not
how
the
are
same.
your Gators doing?
I'm
Or
not a
you-
Gator.
You're Miami, whatever.
I'm the U.
Hurricanes.
Yeah, Hurricanes.
Well, they're in the ACC, and the ACC is turning it to trash. And I don't know. We'll get to a point where everyone it'll be two conferences. It'll be the SEC and the Big Ten, and they'll just be loaded. And then they'll eventually have to go regional inside there, and we'll have the Pac-12 back because it'll be the Pac-12 region of the Big Ten,
Ten, yeah.
and we'll be like it's just
No different than cable packages,
Yeah, we're going that way.
right?
You're getting all the streaming services
Yeah.
now, and you'll need the sports package that has Netflix and
God.
DAZN and
It's-
Fubo and Amazon, all this just for your sports, and
Yeah.
they'll all do that all. Elks season ticket holder,
Yeah.
slinger of dogs there. You're a rider guy.
Hey, but why am I the only one doing the power rankings?
No, I did my power rankings
do,
already.
I'll do
You wanna do- I
the.
was going to say, do you think the Elks make the playoffs this year? Because I did mine a couple days ago.
Can they beat? Can they get ahead of Saski?
'cause
Can
I
they
think-
get
I see him as a
Calgary?
crossover, maybe.
Okay, but okay, who gets third in the West?
Edmonton.
I don't think
Edmonton
Calgary.
could.
I think I'm
Saskatchewan.
ready right now to take Calgary out of that.
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
It's probably between Edmonton and Saskatchewan.
I think it might come down to like the matchups too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like
Saturday's gonna be
Saskatchewan big time.
important.
I really like what
health is
Saskatchewan's
going
done.
to be key for both those teams.
Health where QB
Or on the
overall?
offense more. Yeah, QB and O line.
because I don't think it. I think actually health isn't a big factor for the Elks. Because if
No?
Trey Ford comes in,
And
Yeah,
they
but
run.
you lose a couple guys on your offensive line already.
I know,
where
but I'm
it's a
talking
thin
about
line.
like that's where I was wondering where you're talking about the injury. 'cause-
I'd say QB and offensive line.
yeah, well, I don't like the Elks offensive line in general.
Yeah.
I like their center, Mark Cordy. I don't mind the right side of it. I'm not a big fan of the
But
left
once if
side.
McLeod Bethel Thompson goes down and Trey Ford has had some injury problems in the past too. Is Seth
Daggy.
Daggy year 3?
Yeah.
Okay, Trey Ford had 1 year
He's
of
banged
injury.
up right now.
That was the first season. Last year he was fine.
Yeah.
He got through it. I don't have. I'm not there yet to say I have injury concerns with Trey Ford or that he's not injury prone. He broke his collarbone.
But
the
that
1
type
year.
of quarterback is
When you're a running
prone to
quarterback, you
injury.
could get
Yeah.
hurt and all that. But I think he'll probably have learned from that. Last year he was fine with that. I don't think he took a lot of big shots or anything like that.
true.
You can get hurt walking your doggy.
Again,
That's a line from Heat. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show.
he
Show or
is
movie?
with
It's a great movie.
De
I don't remember
Niro and
the line.
Pacino.
Yeah, that's
Remember Pacino's in there, and the
What's
guy.
the line?
He's in there when he says to the Hank, is it Hank Azaria?
Yeah, well, he's got she's got the big.
Yeah, and you got your
Ass.
ass or head all the way up it, and so I don't want to get hurt or something. And then he goes, and you can get hurt walking your doggy.
Oh, I don't remember that part of that
Really?
scene. I just remember the whole because Al Pacino, like how he was
'cause he's
overdid
got
that.
a-
And with that movie, you're supposed. Apparently, Al Pacino did it as if he envisioned that character is just fully coked up all the time.
Yeah, I
and that's
know.
why he's like that.
Yeah.
Heat 2 is going to happen.
I know.
There's the book
I
that
know.
came. Michael Mann wrote the book, and they're working on Heat 2,
Yeah.
the movie. That's a great movie. Heat.
Unreal movie. Yeah.
First time I saw it was a couple years ago because Ryan told me about it. Yeah, and it was amazing.
It was one of the main reasons I read one time that people put in sound systems in their homes because of the fight scene.
The shooting.
Yeah, when the 7.1 Dolby came out, that was the best. That whole fight scene.
And apparently it's very realistic.
Yeah.
Everything about that is very, like how it would happen with the police, and then the shooting all happened in that area or something to make the sound legit.
Yeah.
When you read into that scene, it
They
is
showed,
a masterpiece of cinema.
Val Kilmer, it was said that the way he was operating the gun, like, and they were showing people going into the military how
Yes.
to reload and do it properly. Like, yeah.
From Heat.
From that, like it was done legit in a sense, and it is one of the best scenes probably in movie history, I would say.
And even in John Wick, they said Keanu, the way he ejects a clip, like he ejects it but goes like this and flips it out and puts it in, and like the trainer was like, "That's amazing," and they've implemented that into their training now.
Wow.
And
Really?
yeah, that he came up with this. So,
He's a bass player too.
oh yeah, right.
I see him as more of a goalie than anything.
Really?
No, yeah. I love
You want to
him.
power rank the CFL?
Oh, I was just gonna do we're doing the thing every. Yeah, I have to complete the.
Oh, are you
weekly-
doing that?
Yeah, the head-to-head thing.
Well, you don't have to.
I want to.
Okay, well, you're just saying we have to, so I'm like, you don't have to.
I feel like
so
I'm
on the
obligated
lock
to.
shop, Huss had an idea that him, Michael Remus out in Winnipeg, myself, Dusty, Zach's going to do it. I'll do it. Just making picks, nothing on the line. We're picking against the spread.
Yeah.
Lucas was going to jump in. He doesn't know anything about the spread, nor does Zach, but you guys will learn.
I can do it.
And yeah, no, just send me the picks. You have to till kickoff today to
Yeah,
jump
no.
in on that.
Okay,
and
time.
we'll see who can pick the best. It's hard against the spread.
You'll have to give me the spreads.
I'll have to email it to you. I
Yeah.
emailed everyone else. I didn't
Don't
email
email.
it to you.
Just text it to me.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. I'll just Lucas isn't good with.
No, I got like 400. I don't.
It's not.
I share
when
an
we
email.
shared the office. I got so frustrated with Lucas so much.
I don't.
Why?
care.
because I had to
just-
help
I
him
don't-
with tech stuff always.
And I was the tech guy.
But
But
he
Matthew's
knew how to
a tech guy.
get to me because he'd always need help and I'd have to fix things. and-
Brilliant. There's a huge text that came in earlier about one time you. Can I read it? Actually,
Yeah,
speaking
sure.
of tech and cable and all that stuff, it's been a wonderful
Are
discussion.
you
today.
gonna rank these guys here?
No.
Or at any point? No.
I will not.
I do want you guys. You two have to make a prediction though for the big CFL Junior Championship. I'm gonna need the two of you to make a prediction. Our poll. I put a poll up while he looks for that text of who has the best team. I'm still winning it over 40%. There's 11
year,
hours yet.
Last year, I think I got 6% or 9% vote of the best team.
Champion.
I
I didn't. The
don't-
team I
they
had this
don't
year
know.
between running back, wide receiver, and Canadian depth, it's unmatched.
I
You
would,
could match
I would
one
imagine
receiver.
the people who are voting on who has the best team are the other people in Dustin's league. And that just shows how much they know, really.
Like it's Dustin's league. We don't even know what it's called.
Doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
I'm not even going to learn.
Yeah.
I don't care to learn.
Kerfalote or
It's
something
going
like that.
to fold in a
Kerfloat.
couple of years anyway.
780-218-9999. This from Dudley. I remember Gager coming to hook up my cable after I had just moved and I was waiting for him to get there so I could watch the Oilers game. I had my Oilers jersey on and everything, waiting patiently, and I remember him asking me how much of an Oilers fan I was. And all I could remember thinking was, why is this guy trying to make small talk with me? All I want him to do is hook up the cable so I can watch the game. LOL. Uppercase. And then it didn't clue in until he left that it was Joaquin Gage. I didn't feel that big of an Oilers fan after that. LOL, all uppercase from
That's
Dudley.
funny. Dudley. Yeah, you missed out. I could have been sitting there drinking with you. That's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
It was
Hey,
probably
we watched the game.
like it was a few
Last
times-
draw of the
I-
day.
last draw,
I
yeah.
can say this now because I'm not there anymore. But my last call of the day was the best because like half the time people, hey, you want some weed? You want a bump? You want some? It'd be like 9 a.m. and you're like, maybe I'll wait a little bit. But when it got to the last one, if they offered me a drink, I'd like, let me just clear this up and we'll see what you got. And so I would sit there. One time, my God, this guy, he was in a massive house and he had a whole like off kitchen, like an off suite kitchen, because he a lot of Indian food and he didn't. I go, you got this whole thing? He goes, well, I don't want the smell, like the.
Yeah.
So he had this massive fan in there. And he goes, you need a drink? I go, sure. And he brings out like a big stiff, like drink. Yeah. And I made me a cocktail. And then he goes in the thing, you hungry? I go, well, yeah, I could eat. So he starts making me, I had butter chicken, naan bread, like the
whole,
so good.
He brought like 4 plates of stuff and would come in and stuff. I loved Filipinos when you'd go to their house at the beginning because you'd get people just moving in.
Oh, okay.
And there's a big kind of celebration.
Yeah.
So one time it was like the afternoon on a Saturday, right? So your calls are spread out, and there was a ton of people in a line, and they had everything in the the smorgasbord in the tin trays or whatever. I walk in and I just said, screw it. Dropped all the stuff, grabbed a plate and stood in line and just waited. As I had.
Which area of town did you work in?
At first, I was Bonnie Doon.
Yeah, okay.
Because no one else wanted it because it's all area.
A lot of area, yeah.
But it was great. I loved it. You'd see some miraculous things there on a daily basis. But then moved out closer to the south side. Like I was more maybe Greenfield in there. I didn't like working around my house too much.
Yeah.
Just... I hate to say it, but the people were jerks. They were awful.
Yeah.
So, but no, Bonnie Doon was the most fun I had.
Zulu in the Nasty Chat says, once got cable for free because we got the service guy smashed. Lasted 5 years. Do you remember Euros? Last Euros? Me, you, Eric, and Hernan were at your place. And then we ordered the pizza and the guy came and we gave him a shot.
Yeah.
Like, do you want a shot? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
What was that? Cosmic?
Is that what we
Cosmic
ordered from
pizza?
that one?
Yeah.
You liked ordering from Cosmic over there at that place.
Yeah. They were awesome. Yeah, he came in the back. He had a couple of drinks with us.
Yeah, because we had a long day of watching some
That was
Euros.
a long day, yeah. That's when the guy from
Christian
Denmark,
Eriksen, he collapsed.
Oh, that was freaky.
And then Canada beat Haiti, which was their road. They had to win one more to get to the next round of World Cup qualifying, and then we walked to Westad, and Hernan left at that point, and that was a fun day.
That was a long walk.
Yeah.
That was a long walk.
It's almost time for it back.
Yes.
We've got, that was only 3 years ago. We got the Euros next Friday, Germany, Scotland.
Yep.
German
Club, 1 o'clock.
And then Copa America starting Thursday, June 20th, Canada, Argentina.
We have a big game today against Netherlands.
It's 12:45.
You notice
it's going to be exciting.
I reiterated we again.
The F1 pool too, I see. So,
I think I was 3rd or 4th last year.
yeah, you were good. You were good this year.
I'm tied with you for 3rd, and my other team's dropped.
My one team is not good.
Yeah, your one team's like
It's pretty bad.
it's close to Dusty's team.
Yeah.
The prison league, as I like to mention, because he hasn't named his teams. They're just the number 1710 inmate 170.
Well, maybe he did name it that way.
No,
Maybe he
that's
just
what
that's who Dusty's trying to be.
So anytime he talks about his fantasy team, how good they are, just how's your F1 team doing, Dusty?
Hey, notice how he doesn't talk about that team?
No, he doesn't talk one thing about that team. So yeah, we're battling
Canadian
now.
Grand
This
Prix.
is actually, this is a great
Sports
week.
weekend.
Yeah, sports weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
gonna be
I'll
great.
quickly go through it here. Friday, tomorrow, Riverhawks season opener, or home opener, I should say, down at Remax Field as Nanaimo's into town, 7:05 first pitch. Saturday at 1 o'clock, Riverhawks play. 2 o'clock, it's Elks Riders, Green and Gold kickoff show live from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at 1 o'clock tomorrow, right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as on YouTube. We will have a post-game show after at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, only on YouTube, because at 4:30, it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at Hudson's Bourbon Street in West Edmonton Mall. YouTube, Trev, Sean Bell, Zach to come, Matt Cassian. They'll get you set from 4:30 until 6. 6 o'clock, it's game one of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Qualifying.
I'm gonna get 6 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock game one, which means then the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post game show with Tommy, Matt Cassian, and Bourbon Street, Hudson's. That will take place, and then there was qualifying at I think 2 o'clock. One Saturday, or is it 1 o'clock? Because the race, because then Sunday you got the race at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Riverhawks play. I think that's the early game. Do they play at 11s? I think that might be an 11 o'clock game. And then the Stingers play, looking to go to 5-1 at home at 4 o'clock down at the Expo Center. But then the Canadian Grand Prix is at 2 o'clock that day. You got also if you're
the Canadian quali's at 2 on Saturday.
2 on Saturday.
Race
Race
is
is
at
at 2.
Race is noon,
It's at noon.
Oh, damn.
our time.
Because I was going to go Riverhawks Sunday, but now I might just do the Grand Prix.
Bring your
Yeah, I
phone
guess
and
I
watch
could.
it on here on the phone while at the Riverhawks. And then what else?
point.
And then you got CFL starting tonight. Winnipeg, Montreal.
Jeez. So
Tomorrow you got Stamps, Tie Cats. Saturday we've already mentioned Elks Riders, and then Sunday you got BC Toronto to end it all at 5 o'clock.
Do you think
We
one
are
of the
loaded.
reasons though that they are in Winnipeg is because of the Grand Prix?
You know that probably is why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Getting a hotel there is probably
Well,
Really
just all of
nuts.
that.
Yeah,
That's
everything
probably
else that's
exactly
going on.
why
Yeah.
they broke a
can't
record
do-
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably exactly why they can't go to Montreal this week.
I talked to Vinny Desharnais about the Grand Prix last year. He said it was wild. Just the whole city was buzzing. He's like, the cars that people are rolling up in, and he's like, the people watching was amazing. He's like, that was my first ever F1 event. He's like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to experience it.
Won't be able to do that this year. He's kind of busy.
He's busy.
No, you might be able to.
Did you see the new changes? Or did they? Were the new changes?
Oh, the
for F1
2026.
Did they
Yeah, no, I
announce
haven't-
that?
yeah, no,
They
I-
announced it.
I saw
Was
it.
that
I
yesterday? It was announced.
I
'Cause
haven't- I
Or is
haven't-
it coming?
Is the car really
Give us
going to
some
look
time.
like that? Because it's a
Yeah,
like
it's a lot
subtle
different.
differences.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
so-
like there's like a whole like panel on the.
There's a little small, like they're shortening them, right? They're making them a little smaller.
Oh, there it is. Everything you need to know about the big changes. So they're making them smaller?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
They're
no.
too big. Because like Monaco, have you seen the pictures of the car differences in size
Yeah,
and then
you
why
can't-
they say
yeah.
Monaco's so different?
Yeah.
We'll see. And we'll see which team takes the advantage. Because in this change, Red Bull has been the team that figured it out. And no one else has kind of figured it out yet. Although I think next year Ferrari will be close.
yeah,
I
Ferrari's
think
on the.
I
up
think
and up.
everyone's going
And
to
McLaren.
McLaren.
McLaren's going to be good next year.
Yeah. I think Aston Martin's going to be eventually back to where they kind of were at the beginning of last year.
They just need to get rid of Stroll.
Well, he's not signed.
How will they get rid of him? His dad owns the
That's
damn
the
team.
thing. He doesn't need to be signed.
I love that little the video of him talking about how it's great that the system for the super driver points, how they keep people from just buying their way into F1. And I know he excelled in F2 and stuff.
He's a
but
fine driver,
he's a
but
good-
if his dad wasn't an owner, would
No.
he have a drive? A seat
No.
right now?
God,
He
no.
would have gotten a seat at some point. I think somebody would have given him
I
a shot.
think
Maybe
He would have
back-
gotten
but-
Latifi'd.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, inside joke. Also, I forgot to mention NBA Finals starts tonight. Celtics
Right.
and
Oh.
the Mavericks.
Excuse you.
Quickly, I want to qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 12th through the 14th, Kingsman Park. Sold out on Friday with Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. Saturday, Kevin Hart. Sunday, Burt Kreischer and Whitney Cummings. You can get your tickets, greatoutdoorscomedyfestival.com. Alley Cat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival here in Edmonton. So you can enjoy a 6 o'clock or lager. To qualify for the VIP table for 4 to Kevin Hart, which we'll give away next Friday on the morning show. Text us 780-218-9999. Who wins Saturday? Elks, Riders. Text it 780-218-9999. I'm going Riders, not going to lie.
I'm gonna go. Elks.
I think a little bit.
Score?
I'm
Is it a close one? Is it defensive battle?
I think it's close. I think this is. I just, if I had to kind of feel my feeling right now, is I think the Riders are a better team than the Elks. I do like the moves that they've made. I'm intrigued by Corey Mason. You never know how a coordinator does going to head coach. I think he is going to be a really good head coach. I'm a fan of defensive coordinators as head coaches.
Well, if you break down the
I
teams,
like AJ Ouellette.
Yeah.
Bringing him there because I think
kid.
he's a good run, like a solid running back. He could open things up for Trevor Harris, who has a quick release if he could stay healthy. And they made some nice moves on defensively. And I don't like the way Chris Jones went about building the Elks this offseason. I think he did it very poorly, and he didn't maximize what he could have done with this team. I don't like getting rid of Jake Seresna for Curly Gittins Jr. I don't like that they didn't add to the offensive line. And it's not that I think they are better with MBT over Trey Ford. I think they could get more wins with MBT over Trey Ford, but I don't think it's that much more. And I think they could have built a better team overall with Trey Ford as the starting quarterback, saving money as opposed to going MBT.
do you like Shivers calling the defense
I
over Jones?
think Shivers should be a head coach in this league, and the only reason he's not last because he was being talked about was that the Riders, you guys fell off in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and a
And-
whole new.
There's a lot of
Ship
different reasons
needed
for
to
that,
be
but like
changed,
Nick
yeah.
Marshall gave up, and a lot happened, and so no one looked at the Riders as we should grab someone. Shivers should be the head coach of a team some point in the Canadian
What I
Football League
find
coming
with Shivers though, the last few years is that he does start off strong, but nothing kind of changes as the year goes on.
That's fair.
I find with his game calling, with play calling and stuff like that. But no, he's
and he's a Chris Jones guy.
Chris Jones guy. He's
So if
young
Chris
and he's
Jones
good.
is going to trust someone,
Yeah.
it's going to be Jason Shivers. I also still do question how much is Chris Jones given up on the defense. It's great that he's a defensive coordinator, but how involved is he still going to be?
Oh, he's still going to be involved, but just not calling it the plays. I don't.
Are we sure? That's the one thing I'll be intrigued by.
I don't know. I like the moves that the Riders made too, but like you do have to you got to like the moves that the Elks have made too in some spots. Maybe not all of them, but in
Which
some
one?
of them. Well, you finally got a kick returner.
Okay, no,
Which
it's
that is
special
huge.
teams.
And you got to
and you got a kicker. Yeah,
Special teams improved.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
and that that would have changed your outcomes for a couple of games last year. One against the Riders.
Yes.
If they would have taken the ball out of the end zone.
Well,
You know.
they could have also they just punched in a ball
man.
from the one.
That's
Sure.
why I
That
think they
destroyed
win
the season.
on Saturday.
Mentally, their season was lost
Yeah.
at that moment.
Game 1.
Who is doing your short yardage? Is it? It's,
Dakota Brew Cup.
okay, so So
Brew Cup will be
is
short
Daggy
yardage.
then?
Daggy's hurt.
Daggy's
okay,
banged up,
okay.
yeah.
Daggy got hurt in BC last week. Prukop signed. He'll do short yardage, I think. Not trade for.
Hey, that's not bad.
I like Prukop's a great short yardage guy. I'd like him.
He did that for them a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, he's been doing it in BC
Yeah.
or Winnipeg, I should say.
Yeah.
The thing I like about Trey Ford doing the short yardage though,
Is that you have the option of kicking around?
if he runs to the outsides and there's a space, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
It's like he has that speed that it could be electric.
That's why I always
And
wanted
so-
with Nick Marshall when he was with the Riders, and same with Jones when he was there. Like Nick Marshall was quarterback of Auburn.
Yes.
Throw him in there on get some of those guys in on those weird plays and.
But I also
let him
understand Trey
cook.
Ford is shorter.
Yep.
And it might be tougher, and then you don't want that. You maybe don't want to injure him.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not being used. But they are better special teams. Offensively, they're slightly better. I don't think they're much better. I don't have issues with as a player Curly Gittins Jr. I just think the Elks. One
The
thing I learned
trade off
from,
of the two. Yeah.
Well, no, but also from last year to this year. At the end of last season, I said they needed to get rid of a receiver, and I thought it was Steven Dunbar needed to go, and they had Dylan Mitchell, they had
Manny.
Gavin Comm, they had Manny Arsenault, they had Eugene Lewis, they had receivers though, and it was like you could afford to now lose one. They cut Steven Dunbar. It's like, okay, fine, but then they bring in another receiver and lose Resna. So really, in the end, they just swapped out receivers and just lost Jake's Resna.
Dunbar
And
was
I'm
a money thing, was it not?
Yeah, but that's because you also didn't need that many receivers.
True.
But so
Yeah.
now it's a wash. You're the same receiving core basically as last year in terms of money, and they don't need that extra receiver.
Yeah.
And I know there's no Manny Arsenault, but I forgot Kyron Moore really actually stepped up
True.
and
He
showed
did, yeah.
being a solid receiver.
Yeah.
And you just lost Jake Resna on the D line. So and then
But
defensively,
you got Kim Dichie.
well, who apparently has been fantastic
Yeah.
through camp.
Yeah.
But the big question mark I will have about that entire team is there's a lot of question marks. I don't know if the secondary that was young last year is going to take that
And it
step
got
forward. That's going to be
carved up a
necessary.
lot. Yeah.
They've made a lot of changes to the linebacking core. Niles Morgan returns, but what else is happening?
Yeah.
How are everyone else going to step up? And defensive line, there's no AC Leonard, there's no Jake Seresna.
Yeah.
So I can't say they're better defensively. I'm not going to say they're worse defensively. That one is a complete unknown.
They have to prove themselves.
To me, offensively, yeah, they are slightly better, and special teams they are better. But I could also see the offense
But
taking a step back if things don't
offensively
go
and
well.
special teams improvement is probably another win or two at least.
Yeah.
Like we just said.
Okay, so right,
'cause they
it's okay.
need-
So you
they
go from
needed
4
to
wins
do-
to 6.
Yeah, but what are we
And
saying? It's
six
a
got you into the
6.5 win
playoffs.
season.
6 got you into the
over-under.
playoffs last year.
Sure, but I shouldn't this year.
Yeah.
But this is where the makeup of the team and where Chris Jones screwed up in my mind is Trey Ford as the starter too could have you doesn't affect your special team, so you'd have improved there. And if Trey Ford was my starter, if I was Chris Jones as a general manager, I don't need to make the trade for Curly Gittins Jr. because that was everyone's connection to MBT.
Right.
I have Jake Seresna on my defensive line still. And the money I'm saving by not spending $400,000 on McLeod Bethel-Thompson, well, yes, I got to pay for a different veteran backup, which will eat into that. I could have probably went and got one offensive lineman at least. And I could have improved my O-line right there. And my offense would have taken that step forward. My special teams would have taken a step forward. And there's those 2 wins
Matt,
anyways.
Matt,
so I've wasted that money, and I've got a quarterback that this year that he doesn't have a contract next year anyway, so McLeod Bethel-Thompson might not be the quarterback of this team next year.
Probably
Whereas
not.
the other way, Trey Ford, I'm at least developing and know what I have from him this year. That's where the makeup of
you
the
know
team,
what,
the
but
building of it, I don't like that from Chris
Trade Ford
Jones.
is still developing now. He's developing under a guy like McLeod Bethel Thompson as opposed to a Cornelius. I know your opinion on the move. I think it's a good move
He
for
needed
a
a veteran
year.
QB.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
maybe not the most. But who are you going to get then?
Is there a lot of learning from a veteran QB to a younger one like that?
I would assume yes.
yeah, everyone
Maybe
keeps saying it does.
process.
Everyone does.
Really?
And MBT's talked about how he wants to help develop Trey Ford.
It's a jump. It's a jump,
Gino
especially from
Lewis,
U-Sport to CFL.
Gino Lewis, when we talked to him at Fan Day, said he's going to be learning a lot from MBT. So all
okay.
these players do sit there and be like,
All right.
I guess the question I would ask for you is like, what learning would a young goalie have from a starting goalie? Is that there in hockey? Like with Tommy Salo, like I guess maybe you've been established a little longer.
It would be
but
more mental things, right? Yeah, there's subtle things that you pick out that maybe you try to put into your own game, but I don't think it's massive. There's obviously
different sports.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
I think it's more reading the defenses and learning.
Seeing what it is, what to go
and I think
for.
sitting
Yeah.
in film, like McLeod Bethel Thompson with Trey Ford going, this is what I saw here. This is what I saw there.
Yeah.
There could
and
be more
that
of
might
a
be the
collaborative
development
process that way.
But
I
it's
think.
just I
But
always
also
think,
seeing how a guy like that prepares is
Yeah.
also like
That's
not just
100%.
That's
you
big.
know.
That's big.
so
We learn
like
how.
who could have been that veteran back? Like to me, he took a team to a Grey Cup. I would have tried convincing Dane Evans to have signed here as a backup.
Ugh.
As a backup.
Yeah, I don't
and
know,
I would have
man.
started Trevor because my fear is we're gonna go a year from now. If things don't go well, we're sitting there going, MBT's gone because it didn't
Yeah.
work. And let's say Trey Ford signs though, and then okay, now you go with Trey Ford next year.
But
so
he-
we wasted a year.
No.
almost,
But
in
he
a
got
sense.
he got a full year of learning from a veteran guy, like you said,
Sure.
who took you to a Grey Cup. He
Yeah.
didn't. He got hurt and didn't play in it or whatever. But he took you
Yeah.
there. So it's not a wasted year. It might be a wasted year for the fans as Elks, but for a developing quarterback like Trey Ford, I don't see it as a wasted year. He would get then probably Jones would be gone if it's a
And
bad
but
year.
now you don't know who's coming in and what's going to change. There's just
Yeah.
it's not like he's not going
and
to take
Trey Ford
some
might then
snaps.
walk away too because he doesn't like what happens.
Hey,
Yeah.
then you got.
And
you-
I
you
would have
can-
rather signed him. I would rather have extended him. And that's the thing. Like I would have been completely fine with everything that happened. I would have been a lot more calm if I had a 2-year Trey Ford extension also given to me in a press release.
I'd say this: if a guy like Trey Ford leaves, walks away because he didn't get 1 year.
It's not 1 year.
No, but this year, if he didn't get this year and he's going to be gone next year, I don't know, man.
it's
Maybe
not that.
he's just not.
Well, it's also just he could sit there and just go because if Chris Jones stays, he sits there and goes, "This guy doesn't trust
Think of
me."
Nathan Rourke though.
This guy
Again,
doesn't trust
under
me.
Michael Riley, right? Like,
Yeah.
he learned a lot, and he sat there and he took his time, and when he
Year
got his
one,
time,
yeah.
when he got his time to play,
Year 2. So we're into year 3 of Trey Ford, and there's nothing that I saw last year that says Trey Ford couldn't be a starting quarterback this year. And that's where I would have rather have gone this year, seen what I have from Trey Ford with a good veteran backup. And if the Elks end up only winning 5 games with Trey Ford, we could all sit there as fans and go, hey, we know what there is with Trey Ford. He's not a starting quarterback. Or if he goes win 7-8 games and you see a development, you go, this guy is here.
But you could
And
also
we'll
say
see.
the same thing with Bethel Thompson coming in. You could almost he might be able to learn this year to become that starting quarterback.
Sure.
You throw a guy into a fire, he might never amount to anything because he had to be put in that situation
But he's
too
already
early,
been
and
that.
he wasn't there yet.
Yeah, but he was there last year. He won. He's won. This franchise has won 8 games in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
How many
5 of them have come from because Trey Ford
Okay.
was the starting quarterback of this team.
Okay.
That's
I will
And in the
also
second half
always-
of this season, they were competitive and with more games than not.
Okay.
So I'm very concerned.
When you talk about the 5, though, I'll always say when a quarterback does come into play, you need to give him at least 1 or 2 games for the other team to get tape on you in order to prepare for you. So
he got 4 wins last year.
Okay, that's fine. But so 4 wins
6
last year.
games.
4 wins last year in 6 games. Good. But you can't say
Wasn't it in
you,
a 6-game stretch?
No, because he would have taken over, and he also
you can't use the 5 in
He
anything.
lost to Winnipeg, but they had that 22-0 lead.
because when Seth
no, he took
Daggy
over.
came in,
So Taylor Cornelius played. I think he got pulled after 0-9, so he would have played 9 games last year.
because when Daggy
So 4
came
and
in
5.
to
4
take
and
care
5.
of
Okay, yeah.
4 and 5. Okay, 4 and 5 means a 7-10 season or 7-11 season.
Right.
I'll take that this year.
who did they play? Which teams were they playing?
They beat
Then
Ottawa,
when they won,
Calgary.
they beat Ottawa, Calgary,
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, and Hamilton. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was
Again,
no.
they had a 22-0 against the Bombers. They blew it. And they had
Wasn't it BC? They were
Shut
way
out
up.
twice by BC.
that was with Taylor Cornelius.
with
though.
Cornelius. Yeah.
And
he
when
threw
you
one left-handed.
and when you look at the Montreal
That was a
game,
poor
in the
decision,
Montreal
that one
game,
was.
they had a lead, and then there was
Blew
a
that
collapse
one.
at the end of half,
Yeah.
which involved a missed
Yeah.
field goal for a touchdown.
Yes.
Right.
And but they were competitive in those.
Yeah.
And so now
Sure.
you would think that Trey Ford could take that step forward this year and develop and be even better.
Yeah.
And that's we don't get to see. He's got to sit for a year, and I don't think there's going to be packages because I don't think Chris Jones likes.
But
Trey
you could
Ford.
also argue though too, if they'd be able to punch the ball in on the one at the first game last year, then Cornelius
Season
would have
would've
had
been
his win. If they
Season
would have
could have
ran the
been
ball
very
out of the, Cornelius would have had another win, and you could say,
Well, I don't even know if it would
Much
have
different
necessarily
things.
needed to be that ball out of the end. I think they could have been an entirely different team because confidence-wise, they would have been different. We're almost done here. Lock Shop coming up next. Then 2 guys in goalie, myself, Cass, and Gager.
I had a good text too, like we could end on. But
Okay, before I do, what's happening with Whale and the Wolf?
not much.
you guys are cooking something up.
Yeah. So
on.
we've been show wise we're a little light for the summer, which is okay though. We went pretty hard in the paint last fall and summer with the release
Nice
of
job,
our
hard in the paint.
Yeah, thank you. Release of our album. So yeah, this summer's a little lighter. We do have we're out in Spruce Grove the day after the golf tournament, July 10th. We're doing they got I don't know what it's
On a Wednesday
exactly
night?
called. Wednesday night, yeah, July 10th. For like a summer series, they have
Cool.
every Wednesday different stuff going on. So we're on July 10th out in Spruce, and then August 23rd we're in Cold Lake for Summer Rush Festival.
Cool.
And as of right now, that's it for gig wise. But we are finishing up a bit of recording that I personally finished my parts back in November of 2022.
Oh,
so
fancy boy.
Really?
yeah, it's been a long process in this, but we're starting to just finish up with the vocals and stuff like that. So we're just about done
Let's
on
go,
there,
Ryan.
and we should have a few. Yeah, we should have a few new songs. I don't know when we're planning on releasing them, but
2024, we're looking to 2025.
if it's anything like it'd be like 2027.
Oh my god.
If it's how the way that we work, it'll probably be late. But no, hopefully soon we'll have something coming out. They're a little different from what we did on this last album, but still very, very us. So
Prediction for
we need-
who wins the Grey Cup this year?
Ooh, BC.
I'll go Winnipeg gets its
Well, I was going to go
vengeance.
there, but yeah, okay. Who's going to win the Grey Cup?
I think BC. I just in my limited knowledge.
I like that. And who wins the Dunya? Myself, Lucas, Eric, or Scott McCord?
Rick.
Guys never won.
Gonna get his first
I
one.
know.
eh?
I think
due.
he's due.
Okay.
He's due.
Interesting. Well, bold.
Who do you think will win?
Me. Okay. I honestly, I walked away from that. I went into that draft very concerned.
I looked at
I
yours.
walked away.
My biggest flub on that whole draft. So again, I don't know how much time we have, but
We got
2
two,
minutes.
like
Okay.
a minute.
how we didn't pick quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
It was between Claris was already gone, Vernon Adams was already
And then
gone.
to me, it's a
it
wash
was
after
between
that
Trevor
point.
Harris
Yeah.
and McLeod Bethel Thompson. I had that 4-5 swing, and I should have taken both.
Oh,
and then you
see, and
would-
I was waiting for one to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make the decision.
And I was thinking
I
of
was going to
taking
take
both.
Harris or McLeod
Yeah.
Bethel Thompson, and I was waiting for someone else to take one so I could take the other.
Yeah,
but then I would have just taken
I'm-
Fajardo.
I'm kicking. I think Eric already had him.
I don't think he went before those guys. I'd have to go look.
Yeah.
With final text.
Save
quickly?
that text is from Jasmine. It's a conundrum of a
Oh, I saw
doozy
that one.
Stanley Cup question. I think you can do it on two
and
guys.
Ty Jordan asked me for NBA pick. I don't know, but he's on the Hangout tomorrow, so I'll get your pick, Ty. On behalf of Tom, Lucas, Gager, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Up next, it is the Lock Shop, and then at noon, 2 guys and a goalie, myself, Gager, Cass. Thanks for tuning into Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for sports. Lock Shop coming up in minutes right here at Edmonton Sports Talk.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today